Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
TexAgs Live.
I feel like I should be listening to the theme song from the Jeffersons. You know, we're moving on up.
We will develop men, we will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
It's a blessing to be in the position, and we're just thankful to be here. We're thankful for the opportunity to go out there and play in front of the 12 man.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
It's been special. The 12th man this past week was unbelievable.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies. Still 3 weeks to go.
3 weeks.
So I hit this point where I was like, oh my gosh, the season's almost here.
It is.
And then it becomes a mirage. Like, wait, it's not 2 weekends away. It's 3.
I think of it like when you're driving in Colorado and you see the mountain.
You're like, you're almost there.
It's like right there, but actually you still got a ways to go.
Yeah, I don't like waiting.
I understand that.
It's been a long...
Tom Petty said the waiting was the hardest part.
Yeah, he's right. He is right.
The way...
Go ahead, finish.
No, that's it.
No, that's it? That's what you're going to give me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hand it to me, Reese. No worries. So, waiting and thinking about how the season's going to play out, we, right now, all we have to base things on is going to practice. We've actually had I think more access, 30, 40 minutes the few times I've been. But people are basing opinions on the season on a 12-second clip on Twitter.
I know, it's insane.
And like, guys, calm down.
You think about, I saw a clip one, and they were like, the sky is falling because a pass or a drill for like a fade route where the receiver was obviously running about maybe 75%, you know, that it wasn't complete. And you're like, do you know how many passes they're going to throw during a practice? And you're not always going to be, you know, locked in and things like that. And I, you know, maybe I'd be a little bit worried if I hadn't seen like Marcel play.
Right.
But I've actually seen him play well in the SEC.
So let's play a remember game. I'm not saying this is going to be 2020 again. I'm not there yet. But remind us how A&M looked week 1 against Vandy, correct?
Didn't look good against
At a bad Vandy, not this Vandy.
Yeah. I remember. I think I remember the writing, like, you know, you can go down and get all the sugar in Sugarland.
Yeah.
And you can't sugarcoat that one. You know, it was a bad, and then they lost to Alabama.
And it wasn't close, right? Oh, that was,
no, it wasn't. It seems like it was like a 21 point.
Or 28, okay.
Maybe it's 24. But anyway, but then they come back and, you know, they beat Florida and go on a run. And, I think I get it. You got to feed the beast, right?
Yep.
Everybody's so invested in the program, you know, so emotional, and they want it so bad, and I get that, and I applaud that. But so they're consuming every item of content, which is why it's fun to work here in the media. But sometimes you have to, you know, just take a step back.
We don't have to overreact to overly good or bad.
Or bad, neither.
Right? Like, look, this is all. Sometimes when you're practicing something, you know what you're doing? You're practicing.
We're talking about practice.
We're learning how to be better. Yeah. And learning how to be better sometimes takes a slower approach until you perfect it. I didn't see the actual clip people were talking about. All I know is we don't have to overreact to a 12-second clip. Let's let the practice, if you believe in the coach, and I do, let's let it play out.
That's why I agree with what you're saying. I don't overreact. I don't react at all when I see guys throwing the ball really well.
Yeah.
Because you're at Texas A&M. If you can't throw the ball well in drills, then what are you doing here? But at the same time, you know, sometimes it becomes monotonous to those guys too. So, again, had I not seen Marcel Reed or other guys actually make plays in SEC competition, then I'm like, wow, are these guys going to be able to make it? But put more emphasis on what you've actually seen in competition than, like you said, 12 seconds in a long fall camp.
So Texas A&M, according to Sports Illustrated, has the 7th hardest schedule in college football, and it says with road games to LSU, Arkansas, Missouri, and Texas. And, of course, the Week 3 rematch with Notre Dame on the road in South Bend.
I always say if you wanted it easy, you should just take the Big 12.
Or go to Missouri.
Well, it may be easy. I don't want to say. Eli Drinkwitz usually puts together a pretty good team.
A really good team.
A big part of it is that they probably play one of the easiest schedules. But they are typically, except when they came down here last year, very competitive.
Pretty sound, yeah. So Phil Steele, we had him on the show a couple of weeks back. He has on his forecast, he says on A&M's offense, in my 2023, my computer called over a touchdown increase in points per game, 32.1, and the Aggies actually improved to 33.3 points per game, but despite basically starting 4 different quarterbacks. Last year, they fell short at 35.6 with just 30.4 points per game. This year, they return a quarterback, running back core, and one of the nation's top O-lines, and should top last year's production. What say you, OB?
Well, I've been saying all year that they're going to be averaging between 31 and 35, and I may be shortening them. You know, don't be surprised if it hovers around 38. I think it's going to be an explosive offense. I saw, again, don't overreact to anything, but I did see Mario Craver catch a pass between 2 defenders, turn upfield, and he was gone. He's a blur. So just all those things that we've mentioned and Phil still mentioned, with the addition of more speed at receiver, I think it's going to be an explosive offense.
Healthy running back room with explosive wide receivers and a step from your quarterback. You better be better.
You should be.
Yeah.
I mean, everything indicates that you'll be better than you were last year and even more explosive.
Yeah. Marcel's the one I am not as worried about as I hear skeptics out there, and I don't think you are either. Like, I'm not worried about Marcel. I think Marcel's going to be fine.
I think Marcel will be good. Marcel is good. And I've said the question is, how good is he going to be? How much better is he going to get? Is he going to be Taylon Green good? You know, I mean, that's a good quarterback. And
I think he was better than Taylon Green.
No, well, I'm saying, are you going to be Taylon Green good, or are you going to be Lenore Sellers good, or somewhere in between there, right?
Let's say,
and if you're in between there, is it going to be closer to Lenoris or closer to Taylor?
Let's say it's exactly in the middle. Let's play this game.
Well, in that case, you're probably either the 5th or 6th best quarterback. Or, you know, are you going to be as good or better or the same as DJ Lagway? Now, Lagway's bigger.
People have him as number 1, 2, or 3, right?
Yeah. Lagway's certainly bigger. But you know what? I can remember about, 13 years ago, there were bigger quarterbacks in the SEC than the guy at A&M.
Yeah.
But the guy at A&M was better than all the bigger quarterbacks at the SEC. So
now, Felipe Steele says on the defense, in 2021, 9 starters returned and A&M improved to allowing 328 yards per game and 15.9 points per game. Coach Elko leads for Duke. Then they allowed 21.2 points per game and 22 the next 2 years. Last year, he was back, but my computer called for 22.7 points per game, and they allowed 22.2. This year, 8 starters are back, so they are stronger, and my computer's calling for 21 points per game.
Okay. Get that under 20. Yeah. Get it under 20. And
I'd like to know about his computer, like what data does he have?
Yeah.
Are you more data or data?
I think I'm a data guy.
I think it depends on the situation for me. I just did both.
I'm an A personality, data.
Pardon?
Data, A. Long A.
Long A.
I'm a long A.
Phil Steele says, I call for A&M to top last year's 8-win total and once again be a contender in SECs for Coach Elko in his second year.
Yeah.
If that happens, if they do better than last year, if they win 9 games, and I'm telling you, I'm not saying that's enough, we will have a much more, depending on how you get to the 9, much rosier offseason.
Yeah, depending on how you get to the 9. But, of course, if you get to 9, there's going to be, we should have been at 10, or we should have been at 11, because, you know, we always. I'm just saying, go for the playoff. In fact, you better do it this year. You got that extremely veteran offensive line. Le'Veon Moss is not going to be here next year. Cassius Howell's not going to be here next year. Will Lee won't be. Maybe Torian York may not. You know, I think you have what's out there. You have the ingredients. There are some questions that have to be answered, but you have the ingredients right now to be good this year. No next year Nuño. This year Nuño.
Until I graduate to next year Nuño. Because it was this year Nuño last year until November.
So then
it became
this year Nuño.
Please. Just put a please on there. Maybe that'll work.
Please.
Hey, this is TexAgs Live.
It is.
Thank you for agreeing. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
We are.
We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
Indeed, we are.
You didn't have anything else?
It's the Rollo Insurance Studio. Jason and the boys.
Yeah. And this is the Go Hour.
It is.
That's presented by somebody.
The warehouse at CC Creation, Senior.
You know this little bit we do?
Yeah.
Half the people really like it, and the other half hate it. They're like, just get through it, man. Just get through it, bro.
You know, but that half that like it are saying, hey, this is good.
This is good. It's kind of comedy. And we are currently sitting on a platform that we call
the Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
So those who can't see it, we're raised up because
if your portfolio needs to be raised up, you go to the Holistic Planning.
All right, this is the part where it gets interesting. Tell the people what phone number to call.
979.
Yeah.
693.
Yeah.
1150.
What do we call that phone number?
Is that the Buppy's Catering hotline?
And bartending, yeah.
And bartending, yeah. Hotline and bartending.
Yeah.
So if you get overserved, get on the hotline and get somebody to give you a ride home.
Or just Uber. Let's go around the room, left to right, and say hi to the people. Behind the glass is Chaos Cade Bickham, the panicking Cade Bickham. Hello, Cade.
Hello, yes. Panic. Yes, so much panic this morning, for sure.
You seem kind of calm, actually.
Yeah, it's been a good morning. You know, there's no Nick Savage today. I'm just running the ship. You know, things are going good.
Okay. Well, now let's offer some perspective this morning, Cade.
Do have some perspective.
All right.
Anais Smith. Are
Love
you familiar with him?
Yeah.
Okay. So
love him, hate his team.
Yes. The Eagles. You know, reigning Super Bowl champs. But Anais Smith, 2 catches for 11 yards and a touchdown last night. Also returned a kick for 20 yards and had a 46-yard punt return.
All right.
He's a good football player.
I don't know why I didn't know there was football on last night.
Yeah, it's preseason. Who cares?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't. I care about Anais. I would have watched him.
For that, because Anais is one of my favorite players here to watch play and to interview. Now, our man Reese over there, he cares about preseason football.
Okay, let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Nigrin, good morning, buddy.
Good morning. How are y'all?
You know.
I am a big preseason guy.
So you like watching rehearsals?
How many people who play in the week 1 preseason game actually make an NFL roster?
Well, it depends, because like yesterday, Joe Burrow played.
He'll probably make it.
Yeah, I think he'll make it, but.
He played one series?
Yeah, I think he played like one drive.
How about the people who play in the 3rd and 4th quarter?
Probably like 15%.
15%.
Yeah.
Preseason space is just watching the guys that, like, the Cowboys are going to cut versus the guys the Rams are going to cut.
Right.
So whose cut guys are better than them?
I enjoy it.
Okay.
Seems like every time I'm on, we have some sort of volleyball news, and that continues today because Texas A&M volleyball team is slated for 7 nationally televised matches throughout the 2025 season across 4 channels. They play Minnesota on the Big Ten Network on August 25th. They also have 3 games on ESPN2, 2 games on the SEC Network, and 1 game on ESPNU. Last year, the Aggies only had 4 nationally televised matches.
So you said it's 8 this year? Is that
7.
7, okay.
Were any of those nationally televised matches in the postseason, or was it during the season?
That was all during the season.
Oh, okay. Because I saw that game against Wisconsin.
You did watch that one.
That's when I became a convert.
You're in.
And on the tennis
front.
front.
Set spike.
On the tennis front, the Texas A&M women's tennis team will be one of 4 programs hosting ITA sectional championships in November. The ITA sectional championships are the last chance for the top players from across the country to qualify for the NCAA singles and doubles championships. The sectional championship includes singles and doubles action. A field of 32 players will battle for 6 spots in the NCAA championship bracket.
Good stuff.
All right. I bet those Aggies do well.
OB, if I were to say, all right, Phil Steele has this better than 8-game total.
Okay.
And I said, find me the reason why that would happen. If you had to pick a reason, not multiple reasons, a reason, like this is the biggest reason that would lead to that, you would say what?
Well, the Aggies have gotten better because they're well fed, and they expect excellence here. And so sometimes when the whole pursuit of excellence and being well fed merge, they merge down around, not around Snook, but one in that direction at 1775 barbecue.
You know the interesting part? I was actually asking him that question as a question, not as a spot.
Oh, yeah. I thought that's where we were
legit.
going.
Like, I was just asking you that.
I thought we were going to a spot.
No, like typically we get to the spot at like 17, 18. We're actually on time today. I was like, oh, since we're on time, I feel like I can break some rules. Let me ask Obi a question. But, now that we're here, let's just take that offensive line to 1775 and let them go to town.
Heck yeah, get those guys bigger. And you know what? They deserve it, because they're one of the best. They may be the best offensive line in the country, so might as well give them the best barbecue in the country.
Best barbecue in the country. And for every player on the offensive line, give them a dish to eat.
Oh, yeah. Well, gosh.
Like Trey Zune.
Trey Zune.
Ribs?
Yeah, he's a ribs guy, I bet. Yeah. I bet he is. And Armaj Reed Adams.
Yeah. You've gotten better at that, by the way.
Yeah, I've been corrected so many times. He's probably a straight brisket guy.
Okay, straight brisket. Chase Basantes?
Basantes, that's a pulled pork guy.
Yeah.
Pulled pork. East Coast,
Crownover?
Crownover's a turkey. He's a huge guy, but he's kind of svelte still. He's big, but doesn't look fat. So that's got to be a turkey guy.
All right, Mark Naboo.
He's from Fiji.
I didn't know that.
And so I'm thinking he'd love the jalapeno cheese sausage.
Yeah, and they all are going to get the queso mac and cheese.
Oh well, they
Ruben Fathery, we get that for you.
They may even get the dessert.
Yeah, why not?
All those amazing desserts.
1775txbbq.com is the website. You can call them up 979-492-6241. It is 1775.
It's good.
Hey everyone, David Nuño and Olin Buchanan and OB. Typically, we start off the show in this section, and we call it the Holistic Planning Cool
The cool zone. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What do we know about holistic planning?
Well, a lot of cool stuff. For instance, holistic planning can help you with your investments.
I love that.
They can help you with your taxes. So
I don't like paying taxes.
You get that money from your investments, and they keep it. They'll help you keep it away from the government.
Yep.
Not all of it, but more of it. And then they'll even help you with your estate planning. When you're old like me, you got to make sure some of that money you made is there for when you want to retire and just enjoy the rest of your life.
You want your estate to be planned. But they also do something else.
Yeah, well, if you are, like, say, a sports fan, and you've always wanted to...
Everybody watching us, right?
Yeah. And you want to always dream of being an owner, well, in a certain way you can, because they will broker the deal for you to invest in pro sports.
Yeah, what you need to do is check out investinprosports.com. That's where you can get all the information if you want to invest in a team. I don't know what team. He'd probably try to buy the Cowboys. I try to buy a lot of the Houston teams. Whatever it may be, investinprosports.com. It is holistic planning, and we love hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. We go straight to the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline to be joined by an Aggie legend, Jeff Fuller, here on the program. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm fantastic. How about you guys?
Doing wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. So I kind of want to look back and kind of work our way through your career, your time at A&M and beyond. Just take us back to why you picked A&M. Obviously, I know the family history there, but just kind of take us through what was the deciding factor.
Oh man, so I mean, obviously when I was actually being recruited as a sophomore, and I'll never forget taking that trip down there with my dad, and you know, Coach Slocum wasn't the coach at the time, but I got to meet him, and receiving that offer was amazing. And it was my first offer, and I remember going back to McKinney, you know, big man on campus. I was super excited. And then, you know, other offers kind of fell afterwards, and I ended up committing somewhere else. And it was when Coach Sherman came into play. I remember me and Cyrus Gray, we always joke about who did he call first. But I'm pretty sure he gave me the first call, and I'll never forget that recruiting trip. Coming down there and hanging out with Gerard Johnson, and just a lot of fun.
Jeff, let me follow that up, because I read, and tell me if this is true, you didn't start playing football till your freshman year, so you were getting calls your sophomore year. Is that all true?
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, kind of was a hoop dreams type of guy, and I moved to Texas. I remember moving to McKinney and getting into football just starting my freshman year. I was playing basketball all before that.
So, Jeff, Olin Buchanan here. So you hear all the time about when guys are, you know, freshmen and going into college, you know, there's this period of transition, you know, there's this adjustment you have to make and not to expect too much from the young. You show up freshman year, you catch 50 passes and have 9 touchdowns. Were you thinking, hey, this college thing's easy?
No, not at all. You know, it's crazy because I remember my mindset throughout that whole process. Like, if you told me I was doing that well while I was actually in it, I wouldn't have believed it. I just remember, you know, the attention to detail. Because I mean, I was like came from a running offense in high school, and I remember Coach Sherman coming in, and it was just a pass first offense and a pro style. So there was like a lot of adjustments with cover 2 and man. And just staying in the books and learning it, and you know, taking advantage of opportunities is really what got me there. But no, I wouldn't have expected to have so much success early. And I think a huge advantage that I had was I came in early. So I came in, I did spring ball, and kind of got like a little jump start, if that makes sense. And I definitely wasn't ready when I came in the spring.
Talking to Jeff Fuller here on TexAgs Live. Jeff, what do you remember about your dad's career? And I guess you were around for the Super Bowls. Am I right?
No, I wasn't even born.
You weren't even born.
90, my dad stopped playing in '89.
Right before. Okay, so just I guess what do you remember about being told about your dad's playing days, and how much that kind of played a role in your life?
You know, like, it wasn't until I would say I was in about 8th grade until it became like a huge factor, because I just remember I always wanted to play basketball. And then we moved to McKinney my freshman year, and then after starting playing ball myself and taking the official visits, you start to hear more and more about his career, and you kind of put the pieces together, especially after you played your own career. And but no, it didn't have a huge influence. I remember he was a safety, he was a defensive player, and I got to meet guys like Ronnie Lott and Montana and Rice, and which was fantastic. But at the time, I was a basketball player.
Hey, Jeff, I want to pretend here and make you the receivers coach at A&M.
Okay.
Number one, what is the advice, that you're going to give, say, some of the young receivers that are on campus? And then number two, hey, you got to go out and recruit. How are you going to sell recruits to come here as receivers?
Well, as far as talking to the guys there, I think playing receiver, just like any other position, but I think it's like an endless craft. So I would tell the receivers to continue to master your craft every single day. I remember when we were at the point of, when I had a good season, I always remember the mindset was like, we were looking, even after a good game, it didn't feel like you had the greatest game. There were still a lot of corrections to be made. And as far as being a recruit coming to A&M, it's the best school in the country. I would tell guys, get behind the 12th man, go visit the campus, see what the culture's about. And yeah, that's what I tell them.
Jeff, not many Aggie wide receivers have reached 1,000 yards in a season. You were the first to do it. Just talk a little bit about changing the way people looked at A&M, because A&M, it's still a school that you think about running backs, right? But you were able to kind of change that perception.
Yeah. I mean, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Just about reaching 1,000 yards here in a season, and that being a milestone, and your face being attached to something that not many folks have done here at A&M.
Yeah, I didn't even know that not too many. I was the first one to reach 1,000 yards receptions. I mean, I just attest to hard work and dedication while I was there. I mean, we had guys like Gerard Johnson, who's you guys know is now coach at the Texans. I think there was like a point in time where I felt like he was just just throwing me the ball every play. And I never forget, there were so many opportunities that it just got to the point where when the ball was in the air, I just knew I was going to have as many opportunities to make a play on it. So there was no jitters when I saw the ball up there. I just wanted to go and get it.
Hey, how good was that 2010 team?
I was just sitting here thinking about that earlier. Of course, when you guys gave me the text to come on the show, I mean, man, you guys have guys like Swope who was just put in the Hall of Fame. Vaughn was there. Cyrus Gray was there. Christian Michael was there. Tannehill was there. Gerard was there.
Jeff Fuller was there.
Huh?
Jeff Fuller was there.
You were there.
I was there. Easy was there. I mean, it was a really fun time. I remember, and it's funny as I look back. Like I remember a huge influence was our strength and conditioning coach, Coach K, and I just remember we worked our butts off, and it felt like the seasons where we did well was the ones where we had high expectations for ourselves and nobody else did.
Talking to Jeff Fuller here on TexAgs Live. Jeff, what about Coach Elko and what he's trying to do here? Do you feel like we're going in the right direction?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, it's kind of cool because it just kind of like how I just mentioned, I felt like Coach Elko is kind of like he's a player's coach. And you can tell that the guys are really rallying behind him. And I think one of the greatest things is it kind of reminds me of a little bit, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but when Coach Sherman was there. Is Coach Elko O-line guy?
Defensive guy, Coach Elko.
Oh, he's a defensive guy. I think one of the biggest things was I think just being in-house, and I remember not really having a whole bunch of hype around all of us, but we were all kind of locked into the same goal, and nobody really around knew how well we were going to do. It was when we did the greatest. And I think when I look at Texas A&M right now, I can tell they're cooking something up, and I'm super excited to see what happens this season.
So what are you doing with yourself these days, Jeff?
Okay, so I'm actually a general manager at a solar company out here in Dallas.
Interesting. Doing well, thanks.
You get to check out a lot of Aggie football games on TV or in person?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's funny because hopefully they invite me back again this year, but every year I try to come play in the spring game.
well, hopefully we get you
back to the spring game one more time.
No, I was going to say, hopefully we can get you in studio next time you're in town. We'd love to have you here in person.
Oh man, I would love that. I think last year I came to the Texas game. I did come to the Texas game last year. But yeah, I would love to come join you guys in the studio. I'd love coming to College Station.
Well, let's close with that. Just the Texas game last year, looking ahead, and you got to play in that rivalry. How much do you despise Texas as a program?
Man, I can't stand them. And you know, it's really funny because I was looking back and we got our butts beat pretty bad a couple times. But I was like, man, every single time we played them, I made sure we got in the end zone, you know? And I always took that game personal.
Hey, Jeff, man, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's do it again, all right?
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much. Jeff Fuller here on TexAgs Live. So
that was enjoyable.
That was enjoyable. I'm looking at a couple of notes here. Let me see if I can find it. I'll bring it back on the other side, but
he had about 230 catches. I don't have his actual stats, but I think it was around 230, and he probably had about, I don't know, I'm guessing about 2,500 yards receiving.
So
maybe more than that, maybe 3,000.
So he seemed surprised to be one of the first to do it, to do it. But according to Google, Texas A&M has a few receivers that have reached the 1,000-yard mark in a single season. The most notable is Mike Evans in 2012, 2013. And according to 12man.com, here are the others: Jeff Fuller and Josh Reynolds.
Just those three?
That's what it's saying.
Yeah, I guess Christian was that guy that was always close and never. Maybe this will be the year.
We're going to fact check just to make sure on the other side, but this is
well, you know, for years and years they ran wishbone, right?
Yeah.
So, so it's anybody that's done it has been pretty, you know, reasonably recent.
Yeah. Let's hit a break here. By the way, you see what I'm wearing?
Is that duck camp?
It's duck
camp.
Yeah.
I'm not good with name brands.
Yeah. But you know this one.
But it's a good looking shirt.
I made an order yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I'm getting some more.
Are you actually paying, or are you just?
Of course I'm paying.
Are you just ordering them to send you?
I'm paying with love. It's Duck Camp, by the way. The lightweight performance hoodie, the scout shorts, the essential hoodie, and the lightweight fishing shirt. By the way, getting some polos to rock on the show.
Oh, nice.
Maybe a hat or two. I don't really wear a hat in the studio, but I'm a hat guy on the weekends.
That's a cool hat.
Yeah, all of them are good.
Like I said, my son liked it so much he confiscated it from me, and he tells me that, you know, people over where he goes to school always say, "Hey, where'd you get that?"
Whether you're gearing up for a hunt, a fishing trip, or just trying to survive September in College Station, Duck Camp has got you covered. Check it out at duckcamp.com. Built for the outdoors, designed for everything else. Let's talk a little Snaps clothing. David Nuño here, and I love wearing Snaps clothing everywhere. I've got the flannel on right now. You've seen me in the Tailgater collection with the A&M gear. It is fantastic. If you see me around town with my sons, Christian and Cruz, they've got a bunch of Snaps gear. When they have big games for Consol, they wear nice clothes, so they wear their Snap stuff. And I'm telling you, with baseball season here, let's all kind of go looking stylish and fit to the games. They're at Olsen wearing the Snaps clothing. As a reminder, they are the only official licensed Texas A&M Pearl Snaps maker out there. Their Tailgater collection is built for game day with breathable, moisture-wicking fabrics to keep you comfortable while you rep your Aggies in style. Now, whether you're watching the game from home or maybe you're in attendance, you're tailgating, whatever it may be, you got to make sure you head to snapsclothing.com to see everything they have to offer. It is fashionable, it is awesome, and you're going to love it. So we didn't have it completely correct. We missed our bestie.
How do you miss
Ryan Swope?
Swope.
But the list is small. And Jeff Fuller.
So is Swope compared to Jeff Fuller.
Swope is the guy.
I know, but he's for a career the best receiver ever here for a career.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Jeff Fuller was great. And who was it? Chris on the YouTube page thought my question about Texas was the lamest question ever. And I personally like hearing the guys who played against Texas, their disdain for that program. I bet you that question wouldn't have bothered Chris as much had A&M won this past year, and if Texas wasn't having the kind of success in the SEC that we didn't anticipate initially.
I like players having.
I like rivalries. I like hating my rival.
Yeah, I do.
I know it's cool to act like you don't, but I hate him. I want my wife is a Longhorn, but I have converted her into an Aggie. She roots for A&M sports, and because she knows the storyline, she knows the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's that part of it. But I want to hate who's my rival in soccer?
Barcelona.
I want them to lose every game by 90 goals, which is impossible. That's what I want. I like my rivals losing. I like my rivals in misery. I don't go to opposing shows and listen just to see them freak out when their team loses. I don't have time for that. That being said, I like when they lose. It makes me feel better.
Yeah, I like when the Eagles lose. Unfortunately, they're not losing very much right now. No offense on IS or Kenneth Reeves.
Right.
Kenneth Reeves, a great Aggie, doing real well up in Fort Worth, but he played for the Eagles, so I liked him every day except Sunday during the fall.
Hey, let's we'll do a lot of this with Billy a little bit later on in the program, but let's do 25 in 25 presented by La Casa
Tequila.
Raised in Aggieland and
rooted in the SEC.
Number 11 is
Ruh-roh.
I knew you were going to do that.
Scooby Williams. Like him.
I love Scooby's when he comes in here, I feel like I'm talking to a friend. He's fun. He's just a fun kid.
Yeah, he really is. But he's a really good football player, too.
Very good.
Last year, there was some nothing major injury issues. So I think he missed one game against McNeese, and then some other games he
played all season long hurt, though.
Yeah, he couldn't. But sometimes he had to come out. But when he was in there and feeling good, A&M's defense was better.
Yeah.
And I think that he had one of the two best defensive individual games of the year. One of them was, of course, Nick Scorton against Arkansas, but you go back and watch Scooby Williams against Mississippi State. He had 6 tackles. He had an interception. They returned about 30 yards. He broke up a pass. And then on 4th and 1, when the game was still in doubt, Mississippi State was at midfield. Actually, they're on the A&M 49, and they run Davin Booth, who's a good running back. And they run him to pick up the first down. But Scooby converged on him, and he couldn't get away. But he might have gotten away with it, too, if it hadn't been for that meddling kid, Scooby.
Well played, sir. He actually,
I watched a lot of cartoons.
You did actually rehearse that one.
I did.
That one I heard you do earlier. Usually you don't, but that one was like...
Yeah, well, you
wanted to see if it worked.
Well, see, and he would have liked it better because he likes the rehearsals.
Niagara, are you still doing research?
Like a preseason game.
I'm just looking at Scooby Williams.
But Scooby.
Logs.
By the way, I think he got hurt super early in that Notre Dame game.
Is that when it was?
Torn meniscus, yeah.
Yeah, he played with torn meniscus. And remember, that's the injury that kept like Tim Duncan out of the NBA Finals one year or something like that, or playoffs. Anyway, it's one of those injuries where the amount of it's really up to the amount of pain you can take, and he can take a lot, obviously.
He can take a lot. Let's run our mouths. 3 things we want to see. Brought to you by the Brazos Running Company, your local Aggie-owned specialty running store where you can find Brooks on Hoka shoes, located at Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill in College Station. All right. There's nothing going on right now. Let's talk about season. 3 things we want to see season-wise, and I'm gonna narrow your focus.
Okay. Tunnel vision.
From the front 7.
From the front 7.
Yep.
3 things I want to see from the front 7 of the defense. I want to see DJ Hicks emerge, have the season that we all envisioned for this guy as a 5-star recruit. I want to see DJ Hicks become that guy we all know he can be.
Okay, I like your answer. I like it.
I want to see the linebacker play. Scooby Williams and Torian York. And even, man, I keep noticing Jordan Lockhart. Yeah. I want to see those guys They weren't bad last year. I want to see them all as a group take the next step and be even better. And I want to see Cassius Howell be that guy that everybody projects that he can be. You know, I want to see him be the guy in the SEC that he was in the MAC when he led the MAC in sacks. Mac and Sacks.
Mac and Sacks.
Sounds like a store.
Sounds like something you could sell at a fast food restaurant.
It does.
The Mac and Sacks. Yeah.
Well,
sack lunch.
And you know where? If I opened up a Mac and Sack store, my first place I'd open it would be in Hackensack. The Mac and Sack and Hackensack.
Where does Scooby Doo take place? What city?
It doesn't. I don't know. It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
But let me tell you, Scooby's he's kind of a mystery because we don't know how good he can be on long term.
Yeah.
But when we see him play, he's a machine. So he's kind of like a mystery machine. Ruh-roh.
The look you give the camera when you do these jokes.
The mystery machine?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You don't have to explain. I get it.
You know, there's one of the.
Did you watch Scooby?
Yeah, I watched a little
Who
bit.
didn't
Of Scooby.
watch Scooby?
Yeah, it's the best show ever. Not ever, but the best show right now that I'm talking about.
Unmask those quarterbacks, Scooby.
Can you name the characters of Scooby?
There's Fred, Velma, Daphne, Shaggy, Scooby.
And who's little Scooby?
Oh yeah, that doesn't even.
Scrappy Doo.
That's when you're giving up. You know,
Yeah.
when you're losing. That's jumping the shark.
That's
Yeah.
a good trivia.
Did you not
answer
know
right
Scrappy?
there. No.
Yeah, it was crappy, dude. Basically.
You know, it's not crappy.
What?
The Association of Former Students.
No, that's not.
Working there, not crappy at all.
That's what I call a segue right there.
If not the worst, the second worst of the day. Anyway, just go work there. All right, looking for a job? That's the place to go look for a job if you're trying to move back to Aggieland. They have different openings from time to time. Fundraising, marketing, sales, communications. They are the premier alumni association, and they want you to join their team. They play a part in every Aggie story from Howdy to here. Don't miss out opportunities to help out with Howdy socials, Aggie Reading Day, class reunions, and everything in between. Join a team that exemplifies those Aggie core values of excellence, integrity, leadership, loyalty, respect, and selfless service, all in support of that worldwide Aggie network. So if you're interested in joining the team or sharing with someone that would be a great fit, please visit tx.ag/association jobs to get more information on each position. It is the Association of Former Students. a good song.
Don Williams from Gregory, Texas.
I call him Donald. More formal form. TexAgs Live. We're on the air. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Something on the chat yesterday caught my attention today, OB.
Okay.
Ag Engineering 12. He's a great listener. He listens all the time,
All right. Thank you.
He told me that it's Julian Humphrey, not Julio. He's not Hispanic, Nuño. And for the record, they're calling him Julio now.
I have heard him call Julio many times.
Many times. He's going by Julio. I believe on the roster it actually says Julio now. So
I saw him out there yesterday.
That's correct. It does.
Thank you, Kate.
But at A&M, is me and Julio were down by the schoolyard.
The face. Look at the face.
You
a big Julio Iglesias guy? I can see you.
Not a big
Julio. Him and Willie Nelson to all the girls I loved before? That was your jam, no?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasant song.
It's great. It was number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think Willie had more to do with that than Julio?
No, I think Julio had a little bit more.
Now, don't panic, Hispanic.
How about they're both goats?
My wife says that all the time.
Don't panic, Hispanic.
Don't panic, Hispanic.
Let's bank on it, shall we? Brought to you by Vera Bank. Not a lot to bank on, OB, but I'm going to bank on something.
Bank on it. What?
Let's see. Let's bank on against UTSA.
Okay.
We will have in the first half. People keep me honest on this. Somebody send it to me. A 50-plus yard touchdown in the first half against UTSA.
Okay.
Bank on it. If I'm wrong, don't forget about it. If I'm right, remind me.
Who's it going to be?
Oh. I didn't think about that. That's deeper into my thought. You know what? Just because I saw what people said.
What?
Terry Bussey.
I think it's going to be KC Concepcion, where KC will get into the end zone and do an end zone dance to celebrate, and he will shake his booty.
So let me ask you a question. Do you spend time thinking about...
No, I really don't.
How can I work in KC and the Sunshine Band into a show?
I really don't. It just kind of comes to me.
I just don't believe
it.
See,
I got to tell you, I don't know if this is a good thing to admit or not, but I personally would have spent more time back in the day listening to KC than Julio Iglesias.
Of course, he's not your community.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Kind of is.
I don't know many. I don't think you're listening to polka music very often.
No.
Okay, it's not. That's not.
Did Julio? Tell me another song by Julio Iglesias.
I don't know no names of songs.
I once heard.
But I know his songs.
There's a song called I think it was Charlie Robinson did it, and he said it's called What Would Willie Do? And it says you're talking about Willie Nelson. It says he loves everyone. He's a friend of all the races. He even had a hit country song with Julio Iglesias, and that's not easy to do.
So my favorite, I had to Google the names. I had to Google. Me olvidé de vivir.
Oh, okay. I can understand why everybody walks around singing that.
And then there's Begin to Begin, which I don't know that one. But
look,
I'm more of a Enrique guy.
Okay.
That sounds weird saying out loud.
What's his big song?
Hero.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hey, all you Iglesias fans, all respect. I'm just saying, it's not my jam.
It's not your what? I'm sorry.
Jam. I'm sorry.
Let's just close out with some football somehow. I'm sorry. Jeff Fuller, great. Okay?
Jeff Fuller, I really enjoyed that.
Opening segment, kind of good until you went into 1775.
I thought that's what you were setting me up for.
But since then, off the rails.
You need to give me a signal or something.
The bat signal. Reese Nygren, please do anything but some Scooby jokes.
So I'll go to the basketball side. Texas A&M basketball has scheduled their first exhibition match of the season versus Arizona State on October 26th in Houston. This will be the second year in a row the Aggies have played an exhibition in Houston, having played against the University of Houston last season.
Yeah, I'll probably miss that one. I think it's a Sunday. We may be traveling back from football, but kind of like Arizona State.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, you visited it, right?
I've been there. Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
We have a great weekend.
I had the very worst press box meal ever in my entire career at Arizona State.
You have?
I think it was supposed to be like a cheesesteak, but it tasted like a horse. It was awful. I had to eat popcorn to try to get the taste out of my mouth.
Believe it or not,
they're playing Georgia.
The next half hour of the show going to be football centric. Monaco, Elmo
and Monaco,
and Will Johnson.
Oh, I thought you said like Elko. Monaco, Elmo, Elko, and Will.
Off the Rails is over. The Go Hour is
Willow.
over. Thank goodness. Presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Love you, OB. When we come back, the voice of the Aggies. Hey, we're back. Awkward intros. Why do I do awkward stuff with you?
What is it? Why is that?
I think I know why.
Because you're comfortable. You're comfortable being awkward.
That's part of it. The other part is I get nervous against greatness, and you are like you're like the mentor. We all learn from you, right? Am I right, Will?
I don't get that nervous around him.
Well, You're around him all the time.
See? He had no problem hitting me. None whatsoever. If he could reach out and throw something in the booth from the sidelines, he would. But
I don't have the arm. I don't have the arm.
We got part of the Aggie broadcasting team here with us. Will Johnson, hello, sir.
How you doing?
Great to see you.
Summer's over, guys.
Yeah, Andrew Monaco.
You know what? He has always said that long, hot wait.
I always throw it slow.
Yeah.
It takes forever.
Yeah.
But
now it's here.
It's almost done.
Well,
God, awesome.
here's what happened. I actually started the show with this today. About 2 or 3 days ago, it's like, oh my gosh, the season's almost here. And today I'm like, we still got 3 more weekends to go? Like, we got to wait. Like, it's the mirage of thinking it's right here, and I still got to come up with new content for the next 21 days. Like, I don't.
It's a good point.
I need the season.
Yeah.
But you just want a game.
I need something to talk about other than my 30 minutes of practice and, like, no more theory. Let's actually get to it.
Look, will you look at this?
Speaking of get to it.
Watch this. Ready? This is what I said before we came in.
Billy Liucci, ladies and gentlemen.
Right now.
I'm kidding.
He's on Liucci time.
Hello, sir.
I'm right on time.
You always are.
They took my time to put this on.
Yeah.
They wanted you to good.
I don't know why they want to hear me.
So right now, David, there are combined 32 interceptions in this room.
0?
32.
He's not counting my 2 JV football interceptions.
There's 34 interceptions in this room.
Hey, and I'll start off with you, Dave. What feels different this fall camp to maybe last year, and just does anything seem different to you right now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've only been to one practice so far, but there's a different confidence, in my opinion, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because in the first year, everybody's trying to learn all the idiosyncrasies of the staff and the other players, and now they kind of know what they've got, and I think they like what they've got. I loved the practice that I attended a couple of days ago. It looks really good, and I've said this before. If we can stay healthy, I think we're going to be a very good football team.
To Dave's point, guys, and we'll start us off here, I feel like there's a confidence when Coach Elko speaks and the rest of the players that, like, it's not a cockiness. It's just like, look, I think he gives off this vibe. We're going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It's a belief in what he's doing, I think. And I think part of it with the Aggies is he retained so much. College football can become a revolving door, and for a lot of rosters out there, it did. But it speaks to what he's building and what they believe in, that he retained so much. And the Aggies are actually going to be one of the more experienced teams in college football this season. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. That's something that kind of feels different to me. College football is a changing world. Mm-hmm. The Aggies kept a lot of what they have. It's a little bit of the same coming back and another year of experience with Coach Elko.
Andrew?
To Dave's point, you go from last year, this is what we're going to do, to everybody coming back going, this is how we do it. I think it's a big difference. And you and I talked about that. And Dave mentioned it. It's that quiet confidence.
Yeah.
They know what they did to succeed. They know what it takes to succeed. And we talked about this as well. They know when they came up short. Now they know, what do we have to fix? And I like that quiet confidence that's there.
If I were building a team, Dave, and I had my choice of style, I would want to have a team. Obviously, I want talent. But returning production today in college football, I think, is so valuable. It's always been valuable. But I think especially now with so much transfers, when you can bring back a big portion of your team that was pretty good already, you bring back your offensive line. Talk a little bit about that returning production.
Well, these guys have never heard me say this, but you went up front. I say it all the time. But when they talk about this offensive line being better than last year's, and I think they're probably right. And then what I hear about the defensive line, that they'll be as good as last year's defensive line. I mean, that speaks volumes about how good this team can be. If I'm right, and you do win up front, you don't win just up front, but we've got a lot to back up the offensive and defensive lines. So I look at the talent, and once again, if we can stay healthy, I think the Aggie fans are in for a treat.
Returning production, Andrew, offensive line,
yep,
running back room. Like we can go many places.
Sure.
But when you think about that T, right, that offensive line and that running back room, and that was the calling card for A&M last year.
Oh, it absolutely was. You think about the team that goes to the Orange Bowl, right, and that offensive line, those maroon goons. And I think that started that year on the 4th and 2 when Isaiah Spiller goes around the left end and scores, and A&M beats Florida in that game with that late kick. That's when they came together. Now I think that's the starting point for this offensive line. They will now, with a running game, make Marcel Reed even more dangerous because he's part of that running game. Now he can throw. So you have the experience up front coming back. The entire running back room comes back and healthy from a year ago. And we said this, if the offensive line's no good, Marcel can't do anything. If that offensive line is good and a running game, and now you upgraded to SEC level talent at wide receiver and NFL talent at wide receiver, now the offense becomes dangerous.
That's intriguing to me is what does the run game lead to with those receivers now? And I actually think the receivers that return showed a lot in spring football. Ashton Bethel-Roman, Isaiah Wade, and then, well, Terry Bussey's back. But we talk about new receivers. I thought those ones that didn't get a whole lot of time last year that stayed with the program got more development in the spring. I think there's some dividends to be paid out.
Those are the bubbling under guys that we talk about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They are there. Like they're doing, and now it's not new to them any longer. They know exactly, all these freshmen know exactly what to go through. But I'm excited about Le'Veon Moss. We said this, argument, best running back in the SEC. We are finally going to see a healthy full season Reuben Owens.
Exactly.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Oh, and by the way, Amari Daniels.
There's another one.
Healthy. Mike Elko saying E.J. Smith. Like there's a versatility.
And the freshman?
Right.
But what a great problem to have.
Exactly.
Who's your better? Who's the best running back in the room? I mean, right now, none of us could. If we all picked, it might be a different guy. Each one of us. Well, so that's a good problem to have.
Dave, let me ask you about the wide receivers, something that Will was talking about, and just I don't want to compare this year's group to last year's group, but this year's group, I think separation is different. So if Marcel's the exact same quarterback he was last year, I think he'll be better.
I do too.
But if he's the same quarterback, having some guys that have the ability to get separation, how much better does that make him?
Well, it's a lot easier to complete a pass to an open receiver than one that's not.
Right.
I mean, I think that it makes a huge difference certainly in the passing game. But the running game makes a huge difference in the passing game. If we can establish the line of scrimmage, which I think we can, that sets up the passing game. I mean, if you can run it well, you can throw it well. And I think we're going to be able to run the ball well.
Guys, a little bit on the wide receivers, just because when you look at this group, now you mentioned some of the youngsters, but like KC can get separation. Mario can get separation. Like these are different speeds at this position that we didn't get to see last year. I love Noah Thomas, and I think he's going to do well at Georgia. And I wish he were still here. But there's a different level of separation with these guys.
I think the other difference is Casey Concepcion was a guy at the top of the scouting report that other teams in the ACC wanted to take away. And Mario Craver was a guy that teams wanted to take away when he was at Mississippi State. So they know that they can be featured. Now Terry Bussey with another year under his belt. Like, I think that's different. When you know that you are the guy, and this falls into Marcel Reed. He's now the guy. And all that goes with it, and the preparation that goes with it. And then go be a playmaker. That's the thing. It excites me that Marcel helped recruit KC and Mario here. I think that's important. I think that starts the relationship that they will have on the field.
You use the word playmaker, and that is the most important word for a receiver for me. And I always ask how explosive can they be? And the reason I always say that is it's fine to grind it out and have a 10, 15-play drive that eats up the clock. And A&M has, in years past in the SEC, hadn't had a lot of problems doing that. But I just think, David, in the world of the SEC, you just can't beat an SEC defense for an 8th play in a row and a 9th play in a row and a 10th and 11th. At some point, they're going to get in your backfield if you just keep grinding out these drives. And what happens is you kick a lot of field goals.
A&M has had really good drives in the past, and they've kicked a lot of field goals. You got to hit an explosive every now and then to make sure these drives are ending in 7 instead of 3. So the playmakers, separation allows you to become a playmaker. It's not always just throwing the 70-yard deep ball.
Right.
Do you get a ball in space because you're open, then it's yards after the catch? How much of that can these guys be? Does the run game open you up to being able to get the ball downfield and get the ball out to these guys in space? I think that's going to be so key this year, and it always has been. And is this the wide receiver group to get that separation, to get that explosiveness that's necessary?
Well, and to take that a step further as an old defender, if you're worried about that guy running by you, I'm telling you, you can't be as quick to get to the running game.
Right.
Even if your keys tell you that, you're saying, "Oh, this could be play action. I better be careful because I don't want a quick 6 touchdown." And
it's all this complementary football that we talk about.
It all works together. And in my opinion, it starts with the running game. If you can run it well, you can usually throw it well. But if you've got burning speed outside, that makes those safeties, if you will, that makes them think a little bit before they hurry up to stop that sweep.
Right.
Andrew, we talk about the second year for these players in this system. But what about these coaches, right? Like, how much better could Colin Klein be? Jay Bateman, some of the changes that they've done. Like, how much better can this coaching staff be now that they've been able to integrate their whole culture? Everybody knows.
I think when you understand who you are working with, when you know, and I think there's different facets to it. When you know who needs that pat on the back, who needs the kick on the butt, who's the leader that I can put a little more on there. I think when you have that understanding, if we're talking rapport between quarterback and wide receiver, I think you have it from coaches to your players. But what also helps is the guys, it's not just returning players, it's the guys who have returned are leaders. So now, Jay may not have to say anything to the defense because Torian's already said it, or Scooby's already said it, or Will Lee said it on the back end, or you bring in a Julian Hump. You know what I mean? Like, you have that. And on the offensive side, you may have that team. So now when you are player-led, oh, man, that goes to another level, I think.
So for 9 months, I've been able to, for 15 hours a week, I find ways to talk about this upcoming season, right? And, you know, there's only so many different ways to talk about it. But I have a couple of vulnerabilities that I see potentially this year. I'll ask you guys, where are some areas that A&M could be vulnerable that maybe we don't think they'll be as vulnerable as people say? Do you have any that when you look at, I mean, you got the secondary, you've got the defensive line that you maybe don't feel as poorly as some others do?
I don't have any yet. When I go to a few more practices, perhaps, or when I see a scrimmage or two, perhaps. But right now, on paper,
we're better.
And you don't play on paper, but right now, on paper, we look solid just about everywhere. And I'm sure that we'll discover some potential weaknesses. But I think this staff, as you said, with the working together for another year, I think they'll be able to identify those long before we will and go to work on fixing it.
Guys, any thoughts on that?
I think maybe just the unknowns. That defensive line is an unknown, although I think it's talented, and we talked about it. I think Cassius Howe is going to be a star. I've always been a big fan of DJ Hicks. I like what Rylan Kennedy did at the end. Coming together. TJ Searcy, though, is now here. Onyedem, Tyler Onyedem is here, and they want to be here, having met them when they got here. But that would be an unknown, and that's I think fair to say. But other than that, like Mike Elko was saying during coaches' nights, that when you bring 7 of your 11 coming back, and they were new last year, when you bring 7 of the 11 coming back on that defensive side, I'm intrigued, and it's not because I work alongside a safety, but I am so. But I've learned now, going into my 8th year, cater to your partner.
Right.
I think that back end is going to be so exciting. I really do. To keep Will Lee, who had a chance to go to the league.
Yep.
And again, I think that's what Derek Miller as GM, what they did. If you're going to, a late round and then using NIL to keep these guys around, I think will be huge. Healthy Tyreek Chappelle, who may have been one of the best players last year before that injury. Will Lee, Julian Humphrey, Bryce Anderson, Marcus Ratcliffe. I'm missing Miles Davis. There's a lot of names. I apologize if I missed it. That excites me. And you go back to what Dave said originally, when that front can be dominant, it makes that back end even better.
Sure.
And I've never felt that Mike ever shied away, and I've used this, the echoes of the Wrecking Crew. There are things like that. The other thing is, guys, you know this, year 2 under Mike Elko is pretty special. Not just at Duke, but we saw it when he was here for 4 years at Texas A&M, because now there's more of that understanding.
Yeah.
And again, that's what makes it really exciting.
Well, especially in this marketplace where, with what the NCAA has done to college football, A&M competes well in that marketplace.
Right. And doesn't it also speak to the coaches that they want to come back and be coached by these guys and then go to the league?
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And I'm a fan of this coaching staff.
Yeah.
I mean, they've given me time, which they don't have to do. Go out there and I can chat with them, and they're straightforward from Mike on down to the coordinators to the individual coaches. I'm sold.
It's a way different conversation when they talk to him. Way different.
Almost same level.
One of the vulnerabilities last year, and I don't know if vulnerability is the right way to phrase it, but was the lack of a pass rush at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. I talked to Coach Bateman about that this week, and he gave a really, I think, good answer. He's like, we couldn't do some of the things we wanted to do towards the end of the season because we had some issues on the back end. Mm-hmm. So we couldn't be as aggressive. And that's why you saw some of it kind of fall off, because they were trying to cover up some of the issues on the back end. He also said he feels great about the back end.
Yeah.
If that changes how aggressive they can be, then what?
Yeah, and the bodies on the defensive front, I'm with these guys. I like them. I hear a lot about Dayon Hayes these days.
Mm-hmm.
The guys I watched in the spring, I was impressed with the Iowa State transfer, Tyler Onyeta. That you don't hear a whole lot about him right now, but I just watching him. There's a ton on that defensive line that I'm impressed with. And when you were talking about concerns, I think most people outside of A&M are just going to say, you lost 3 draft picks on the defensive line, so you're not going to be as good there this year. But I totally think that they will be really good up front. Yes, it's all complementary football. It works offensively, it works defensively. Special teams complements both. So, yeah, if you can do more in the secondary, it's only going to help those guys get home up front. And so I don't have much of a concern about that defensive front, despite the loss of 3 draft picks from it. So, and I'm kind of with Dave on paper right now. I don't have a ton of concern about this team. Maybe depth at linebacker. I think there's good bodies there. We know about Tarian York and Scooby Williams, and there's other good players at linebacker, but maybe some that don't have as much experience as those first two. So, but that's really almost trying to dig into the weeds to find something there. So,
I want to bring up Albert Regis because he's bigger than all of us and his voice is deeper than all of us. But I honestly think that's a key. And I think a defensive tackle, to me, Texas A&M reloads on the D-line.
They do.
They absolutely do.
I think
that is a key coming back. And I know it's not the sexiest position until you look at Nnamdi's contract with the Ravens and you realize that it's pretty. But I think that can also help be a linchpin, and that's a young man who came back and can also be a leader.
He and Ryland Kennedy, that's 2 breakout years coming up.
Yeah,
Albert Regis and Ryland.
Yeah,
and the real question is, who's going to be the big surprise? That is going to come out, because there always is one.
You know what, we joked about this. Remember last year, Mike said, "Don't put everything on a 17-year-old Terry Bussey." Could it be Marco Jones? Who was great in the spring?
You're hesitant to say it because it's right off the bat in his career, but you watch him and you say there's always those guys that I say that's not a freshman when they get here. I look at Marco Jones who just got here. That's not a freshman. That does not look like a freshman.
Jerome Miles potentially?
Right. Miles, a breakout. Could it be Lockhart, Jernigan at linebacker that we've not seen? And how much of a benefit is it that they've watched and played and practiced with Torian and Scooby, right? So you see, that's the way we do it, and you just fall in line. I love saying who the breakout might be.
And see, you look at how many we just named that are potential guys that could be breakout guys. What if we have more than 1 or 2?
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
things look really good for the program, and I'm hoping for that. I'm actually counting on that.
This is our booth, by the way.
Yeah, I like it. No wonder Bronny and Nick like to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, let me do this. Let me ask a couple. Should we do what we our
Yeah,
yeah? Let's
yeah.
do our bit. Can you stay for another segment, guys?
Absolutely, David.
Thank you. You sure?
Yeah, I promise.
Okay, let's do one more segment.
Okay.
All right, you got it.
I'm gonna need more coffee.
We'll have it brought in because I want to ask you about some of the teams on A&M's schedule. And look, A&M has a very hard schedule, so I want to kind of talk about some of those teams because I'm not completely sold on these teams getting the love that they're getting. I'm not saying they won't, but I think they have some vulnerabilities. We'll talk about that on the other side as TexAgs Live. All right, we're back on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Rollo, no.
You never should have left. You never should have left.
So we have interns that are going to get fired later today. When I see them, because I'm not going to do it on the phone. I want to do it in person.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not just me. There's
everybody.
I saw
everybody.
a few out in the lobby.
Fat K, Fat Callie, fat everybody.
I thought this was a before and after, before you started hitting the gym.
No, it looks pretty real though. Right?
Show that to Dave so he can laugh.
You see the six-pack on that guy right there?
Here you go.
Yeah,
It's all for
that's what happens when you leave it. Yeah.
I feel I feel bad. Like I was like, what has happened to me? But it didn't really happen. It's fake. It's AI, but it hurts. All right. What is real is the A&M football schedule. Look at that terrible segue.
How do you get from that to the schedule? In your defense, there is no segue.
No, there's no way to do it.
Tommy Moffitt works, okay? It works. All right, the Moffitt method. All right, so I have questions about Notre Dame. I think they're going to be really good as they always are. I kind of like that A&M gets them early. I wish they got them before Miami, but the fact that you're going to have a first-year starter there. CJ Cart, if he's the guy, has not seen a lot of action. Like I think this is all. The defense won't look the same. The offensive line took some hits. Still a top 10 team, but maybe vulnerable, Dave?
I think everybody's vulnerable if we're right about this A&M team.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a team on the schedule that they don't have the capability of beating. And once again, stay healthy, get a break here and there, have guys perform up to the standards that we expect.
Right.
But I'm very excited about the season overall, and I'm not worried about the schedule. We'll take them one game at a time and see what happens.
David, Notre Dame, I think you flipped the intangibles from last year. They had the returning quarterback. They had that defense that had played under Al Golden for years, right? I think that flips. I think that's A&M. Difference being now Texas A&M has to go to Notre Dame.
Right.
But having the returning quarterback, having that offensive line come back, and having that defense that's been together, I think that's what changes from last year's matchup to this year's.
I think Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman's recruited so well.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of reloading with what they do. They've got some guys missing, but they'll probably reload with good talent. I just think the schedule could almost be quartered off this year because you're going to play three right off the bat. That the first three ends with that trip to Notre Dame that's so important, but then you get an off week.
Yep.
And then you're going to go into three huge home conference games. Well, then you're going to hit the road again. And then there's the closing stretch, which in conference play, that'll be South Carolina, Texas with the non-conference game in there. So I almost think you could quarter off the schedule a little bit. And we're still in this world of 2 bye weeks. 2 off Saturdays, and A&M's one of them comes early with that September 20th no game on that Saturday, but I kind of like it. You can just fire away with everything at Notre Dame in that primetime game on the 13th, then take your rest for a week, so to speak, then get on with a huge 3-game stretch of conference games at Kyle Field.
When you look at the 4 big road games, and there's Arkansas is going to be difficult because
it always is.
It's in Arkansas this time. Yeah.
But going to Baton Rouge, not been kind to A&M for decades, okay? So you got that. But all these teams, you could point, like you said, if A&M is right, but Notre Dame's got questions at quarterback, we got to see it. You've got the same at LSU, the offensive line is going to look completely different, right? Texas, Arch might be the second coming. He might not be because we haven't seen it. Missouri, they're completely reloading. So these road games, and it's hard to win on the road in the SEC, especially at night. At least I think there's a lot of questions pointing at all these teams, Andrew.
But they won on the road last year, right? They've done that. They don't have that hanging over any longer. That's big. Again, you're going into those environs, and talking with some of the players when they checked in, and Will and I were getting the intros for starting lineups and the rejoins that we use on the network. And, some of these games come up on the schedule. And they admit, that's why I came here to play in those games. You never know with some of the younger players, will the lights be too bright, right? You just don't know until you're under those lights. But because of these returning players and the maturity that we talked about and the age of them, I don't think they get spooked by that. Now, it still comes down, winning your space, winning it more than the other. I get it, but I don't think they're spooked by any of those buildings that they're going to have to go to, any of those stadiums they're going to have to go to.
Well, and let's don't forget that the experience with this coaching staff for those players, it's hard in that first year. I mean, it's really hard. It's not like it used to be. So they have to learn each other, the players for the coaches for the players. They're over that hump now. And I think that played a big role in how good talent's first. But I think we've got talent. So I think that is a big part of going on the road and being competitive on the road.
Talent plus trust now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. This is always fun. Always something I look forward to.
I really appreciate you doing this.
Thank
this
you.
is a blast.
Yeah.
Always
It's
so
fun.
much.
It's fun to talk about the season before we ever get there or get even close. So,
and I got an idea.
Ooh.
When and if we make the playoffs, I say we because I'm an Aggie. We do another one.
Deal.
Done deal.
Deal?
Absolutely. We'll book a playoff preview right now.
And we'll know a lot more by then.
What is different?
We'll have all the answers at that point.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, my friend.
All right.
Houston Aggies join us for a special screening of Breaking Tradition featuring fellow Houstonian and Aggie Hugh McElroy, class of 71, at the Star Cinema Grill in City Center on August 27th at 6 p.m. Set during the civil rights era, the powerful documentary follows McElroy's courageous journey through a transformative period at Texas A&M in the 60s. Tickets are $25 and available now in the Football Forum, presented by the Houston A&M Club in partnership with Texas Filmworks and TexAgs with support from Rifle CRE and the Goodwin Group at Merrill. Don't miss this unforgettable evening celebrating Aggie history and courage. It is the Hugh McElroy documentary. You'll want to check it out, Breaking Tradition. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We're joined by Dan Wetzel of ESPN. Talk a little college football. Dan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Actually, I had Pat Forty on the show yesterday, and I told the story of when I got to host a show with both of you guys. It was fun to do that for that one season, I think 2012. So happy to have you here on the program. I want to start things off with Texas A&M and just get your thoughts on the kind of team they could potentially be this year.
Well, they're really interesting to me because I wouldn't be shocked if they. There's not really a limit to how good they could be to me. Some things got to come together, particularly the defense. But when you have the offensive line returning that they have, the running game is going to be dynamic. Marcel Reed, I think could bust out and become one of the better players in the country. That second year jump for a quarterback, so one that showed that much potential could be huge. So offensively, it'd be really good. And then I generally believe in a Mike Elko defense, especially the more time he has in building the program. So if this is a 10-win team that makes the playoffs, not going to be surprised. That said, at Notre Dame, at Texas, at LSU, I'm sure you guys have gone all over this. You got to get the defense right. Got to have some of the transfers step up. If it's a 7-5 or 8-4, you're not totally shocked either. So I think there's a very nice floor for them. I think it's going to be a good season for the Aggies. It could potentially be a really great season for the Aggies, though. It's just hard for me to say for sure. But, man, I'm going to have my eye on, particularly that Notre Dame game 3 weeks in as they get going. How good is Marcel Reed this season? I think he'd be great.
Dan, I look at the top tier, the perceived top tier of the SEC, and I'm like, yeah, they've got a lot of talent, but I got questions. So how high can we be on the top tier? And I'm talking about the Georgias, the Texas, I guess Alabama, LSU slightly below that, in my opinion. Like, how high can we be on this with all the questions those teams do have?
Well, I think this is just college football in this era, right? The talent has spread out with NIL and the transfer portal and kids looking for playing time and money and all the ability for players to move. It doesn't mean it's spread out amongst all 136 teams. Like, it's not the NFL, right? UMass is not going to beat Georgia. But at that top 40 level, it absolutely spread out. No one's sitting around waiting to play. And so the best teams aren't as dominant, and then there's more teams that are contenders. And so, you go in, I agree with that group, right? Texas, Georgia, Alabama, great. Who's the quarterback? Is Gunnar Stockton at Georgia really going to be that great? Really don't know. He's got potential. He sounds good. Arch Manning, I don't know. Arch Manning, is he going to be as good as everyone says Arch Manning is? As good as his last name makes him sound? Yeah, Texas is going to win the national championship if he's that. But if he's just a guy who's in his first year as a full-time starter and has growing pains, then no, they're not going to be so dominant. We don't know. You're breaking in basically new quarterbacks at all three of those spots. I don't really recall. I have to really think back 5 or 10 years ago. But generally, as I would recall it, 10 years ago, if you were like, hey, who's the quarterback at Alabama? They're breaking in a new guy. Or maybe at Alabama you believed it because they just had so many players. But those are huge question marks. So I think anybody's gettable. And again, then you sit there and say at a school like A&M, school like LSU, school like South Carolina, Florida, well, they're returning quarterbacks. Quarterback's the most important position on the field. Are those guys going to make a step up? And those are your best quarterbacks. It's really hard to know where that fits. So I think it's as hard as it was to predict college football because of a quarter of your roster basically turned over every single year in college football, even in the old days. It's just that much more difficult now because you just can't tell. And then it's like, oh well, we got this wide receiver from North Dakota State. He may turn out to be great. He may turn out to be a receiver from North Dakota State. It's just so hard to know on the depth and all those things. But I like returning quarterbacks in general. And if you look at that top 3 tier, which I think, there's reason to put those 3 in the top 3. it's not like there's proven quarterbacks. Archer's looked very good in his time, but can he run a team for a whole 12 to 16 game season?
How about teams that not only have returning quarterbacks, but maybe third-year returning quarterbacks like Cade Klubnik in Clemson? You look at Penn State's situation and with Drew Aller and Illinois. I mean, not that I expect them to be in the playoffs, but maybe that schedule's kind of kind. And Luke Altmaier's played some really good football. So when you think about these teams that have not just returning quarterbacks, but super returners in this era of college football.
Yeah, it's a big advantage if you can keep those guys. And you've got, this is the other bit that's happened in this era. Not everyone runs the NFL, right? I forget last year's stat, but I know it was like a couple years ago, it was over, 150 guys were declaring early for the NFL draft, and that number's down to like 50, right? And if you think about, 20 of those underclassmen are like first round picks, right? You're not going to keep, the guy who's going, Abdul Carter or something like that is going to be a top 5 pick, is going to come back to Penn State. But Penn State returned a whole bunch of the mid-round guys, and that's what Michigan did 2 years ago. All their 3rd to 5th round guys stayed because they were making money. Last year at Ohio State, everybody came back. Buka, Jack Sawyer, Jake, like all these guys that were the part of that team came back because they can now make a really nice living playing college football and want to play college football, and the NFL can wait. So you see that in these things where maybe an Aller or a Altmaier or somebody like that had to jump and say, I'm not going to be a first rounder, but I need to get going here. I'll be a 3rd round guy. I'll be holding a tablet on the sideline in the NFL trying to prepare. Now you're staying in college football and making a lot of money and getting to run these things. So that's an intriguing bit too. How does that all play out? How much more experience can you get at quarterback? Quarterback's just such an important role in this. Obviously, you got to win in the trenches. You got to do a lot of things, but if you have those guys, so it's interesting to me on a macro level trying to figure out what makes great teams. Clemson is your outlier, right? They're not taking a whole lot of transfers. Dabo's still trying to build the program the old way, and so he's got a lot of continuity, a lot of guys coming back. Does that pay off this year?
How high are you on Florida and DJ Lagway, considering how good he looked at the end of the year, but they still got a murderer's row schedule?
Yeah, it's the schedule that is, again, the problem for them. And I can't think of it all off the top of my head, but I know they're at Miami, and everything's lined up against them. Lagway also, I think he's dealing with some injuries already out of camp. Super talented player, obviously. And I think that game against A&M, that's at the Swamp. I think that's at. Or is it
Caulfield?
To
Caulfield.
College Station.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's one of those games where we're talking about where's A&M season go. There's one of your swing games, right? There's a 10-win season. There's a 7-win season, and I would say the same thing for Florida. Brutal schedules, different schedules too, are just some years it all works out, some years it doesn't. We were talking the other day on the College Game Day podcast about Syracuse last year had a 10-win season, and then this year they're like they are at Tennessee and at Notre Dame and the Syracuse schedule. I know I'm probably not a lot of Syracuse fans listening, but like everything was great last year. Everything is brutal this year. They have like 5 rough road games, and you go, yeah, they can go 6-6 and be better. It's just the way this thing's going to work out.
Dan, let me close out with a column you wrote recently about the 12 teams system right now in the playoffs, and that we don't need a 16-team fix. The 12 works just fine. Just give us some thoughts behind that on why potentially you wouldn't want to see an expansion.
Well, number one is I'd like to see more of the 12 team before we just abandon it. Let it cook. And if it's a problem or we really feel like really good contending teams aren't getting in, or this is somehow altering how the regular season's played, let's find that out. I found it baffling. College football never wanted to change, and then they did a 12-team playoff, and then they immediately started, before the 12-team actually existed last year, they were already working on the expansion for 16. So I would like to, let it cook. But to me, there is a sweet spot here that maintains the importance of the regular season, the importance of virtually every game you play, and has an exciting tournament that offers a lot of access and ability to not just have one game knock you out in the middle of September. I think there's a sweet spot. 12 feels really good to me. And I'll give you a couple examples. Look at Alabama. They say they should have been in this thing. Okay, you lost to Oklahoma. You lost to Vanderbilt. Those two losses should matter. I still want losses to 6 and 6 teams matter. Miami, Florida had a great team last year. They had number 1 pick in the draft. They went up to Syracuse late in the season and lost that game, and it knocked them out of the playoff. And I still want that thing where one game, particularly late in the season, matters. That you can't just blow games you should win, or tough non-conference games just don't matter anymore. And I think that, you get to 16, it changes that. It just adds 4 more. It just adds to that thing. So number one is I just like to say, hey, let's do 12 for 4 or 5 years. Let's see. Last year we figured out the seeding. I don't think this is a real surprise, but the seeding of the conference champs, right? Putting Arizona State and Boise State at 3 and 4. It threw off the whole bracket. It not only overly rewarded them, but it messed everything up to the point where Oregon goes undefeated and has to play Ohio State on a neutral field. And we've changed that. Like, let's tinker with it before we just blow up and say, well, we just need 16. Like, why? I don't think the committee's that big of a problem. I think it's kind of a straw man. It's not like there's tons more money. It's not like the first round games are super competitive. They weren't. I just like to say, let's take our time here a little bit and see what we got.
Dan, I appreciate your time, man. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you during the season.
Anytime, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Dan Wetzel there on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. All right, wait a break. We'll do Around Aggieland, and then we'll do Billy Liucci on the other side. When insurance matters the most, who's going to answer your call? That's Rollo Insurance, Jason Jackson, the whole team. They're fantastic. They're super local, but they're super Texas, right? They're good old boys, but their headquarters are right here in College Station on Highway 6. When you have insurance needs, you need to call Rollo Insurance. It doesn't matter what type of insurance, if it's home, auto, or business, they'll take care of you. Their independent agents provide a tailored option for your specific needs. They take time to explain every policy in detail in plain language and making sure you're never wondering about your coverage. They take care of my family and many others that work here at TexAgs. Visit rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That is rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, and call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for Around Aggieland. Kaylee Dreyer is in the hizzy. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So you walked in and I asked you a question. And you looked at me like you were in trouble. And now you look like your normal self. So I'm glad that things have settled.
I don't know. I feel like I always look like that.
Always look like you get in trouble? Do you get in trouble a lot at home?
No. I live with Callie and Kay, so sometimes.
Sorry, when you visit your mother, do you get in trouble?
No.
Okay. What do you have for us this morning?
We have a few things, starting with men's basketball. They will take on Arizona State on Sunday, October 26th at the Fort Bend Epicenter as part of the College Preview Basketball Exhibition event. This is the first time the Aggies and the Sun Devils have met since the 2015-16 season. And to add to that, the last time Arizona State took on the Maroon and White in Texas, the Aggies pulled out a 72-71 win at Reed Arena. Texas A&M volleyball earned their highest preseason ranking in program history, landing number 9 in the American Volleyball Coaches Association poll. The program's previous best was set in 1997, where they were at number 13. This marks the Aggies' first appearance in the preseason poll since 2016, when they came in at number 16. The Aggies will begin the 2025 season at the AVCA First Serve event on August 25th versus number 11 Minnesota. And then last thing, Texas A&M soccer dominated their exhibition match on Tuesday versus the Rice Owls, winning 4-0 to open their 2025 season. Their next match will be versus UT Rio Grande Valley on Saturday here at Ellis Field.
All right, thank you very much, Ms.
Thank
Dreyer.
you.
Appreciate you. All right, when we come back on TexAgs Live, Around the SEC and Billy Liucci. That and more. It's TexAgs. Who is calling my phone? Why did you turn it? Why, when I start speaking, does Brian Broadcasting turn it down? I'm like, go all in, bring it back. It's a great song from Drake.
There it comes.
Thank you.
Here it is.
Who's working today, by the way? I love you guys. Whoever's working at Brian Broadcasting. I hope you guys have the PG version. Anyway, TexAgs Live presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. It is time for Around the SEC, presented by the Jaxer Group. And behind the glass is Cade Bickham, who says, I've got stuff for you this morning, Nuño.
Indeed, I do. So, ESPN dropped their SEC power rankings. First, I would like you to venture a guess on where they have put A&M in these power rankings.
Did we do this on the show this week? Okay, thanks, Kate. Thanks for listening. I believe they had A&M. I don't remember because everybody's got a ranking now, right? I'm going to say A&M was 5th or 6th.
That is correct. They were 5th.
Vamos.
Yes.
What does it say about A&M?
See,
that would help.
Well, I'm looking at the graphic right now.
Okay.
A little graphic, and I'm just looking at the list. Are you surprised that perhaps that Vanderbilt would be at 14, even though some people are, even though they brought a lot of people back, they won 6, 7 games last year, something like that.
They won 7.
Yeah, and then behind teams like Arkansas, who we don't know what they're going to do this year. Sam Pittman on the hot seat.
So, okay. Do we have a graphic made, or you want to just kind of give me the 1 through 16?
I can give you the 1 through 16.
Give me the 1 through 16, and we'll go, and I'll tell you where I agree and where I disagree. So I understand that Vandy's 14. I got to feel who's around it. So,
okay.
Number 1, they got Texas.
Yes. 2 is Georgia. 3 is Alabama.
So far, I agree, and I have Alabama. I think I have them winning the SEC championship. I believe I do. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I picked at SEC Media Day. So that's what I predicted. That's what I'm sticking with. Okay. 4, LSU.
Yes. 5, Texas A&M.
Let me guess. 6, Missouri.
6 is Ole Miss, actually.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that.
7 is Tennessee.
I
think
don't
that's
believe
a little bit
that
shocking,
at all.
Yeah,
I don't believe that. Okay.
8 is Oklahoma. Once again, I'm a little bit skeptical on that as well.
Okay.
9 is Florida.
I think Oklahoma and Florida, people are like me. They look at that schedule and they're like, I don't know about all that. I mean, they're good, but are they that good? So I might flip-flop those two. I might have more faith in Florida right now than I have in Oklahoma, especially because I think Material might be really good, right? Like he might be the truth, but I just think if Lagway is healthy, different level of quarterback. Continue on, please.
So 10 is South Carolina, and then 11 is Missouri.
11 is okay.
12 is Auburn.
I actually believe that to be the case with Missouri because they're so new. They got a very easy schedule, but they're so new that I just don't see that being the case, them being that good. But I know they believe in their running game. I know they believe in their defense, and Drink is a really good coach. So I don't disagree with that. Auburn, let me guess, is next because I'm looking at it.
Yes, they're next, yeah. And then, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Mississippi State. I don't think anybody would have a problem with Kentucky and Mississippi State at the bottom.
No, I would probably flip-flop Vandy with Arkansas. I think Vandy takes a step back this year, but not a huge step back. I think they get bowl eligible. I think they win 6 games. I think Pavia, people are mad about his bravado and his cockiness. Look, whatever an athlete needs to do to get there, and he's not being disrespectful, by the way, when he speaks. Castellanos at Florida State, I don't even know if disrespect, but that's just, guys, you went 2-10 last year.
Yeah.
Right? There's no reason, and he wasn't even there.
Yeah, I would say he was at Boston College.
Right? With Bill O'Brien. But, I would have Vandy above. I think Auburn is one of those teams that might be too low on this list, but I hope that's where they're at.
Who are you replacing with Auburn? That becomes the question with all of these things is you're like, this team should be higher, this team should be lower. Well, then you have to come up with who am I moving?
So I appreciate that South Carolina is 10th on this list because a lot of people have South Carolina like as a fringe playoff team again. I don't. I've given my reasons why. I don't need to hit that again. So you're right.
I do think it's a bit shocking that they have South Carolina behind Tennessee, though.
I'm not.
Frankly,
I'm not buying the Tennessee hype.
I'm not buying the Tennessee hype at all.
I think the reason for it is Josh Heupel's proven that he can makes something different each year, right? He's good with the ingredients that he's given and makes something out of it. And I don't think Nico was that good last year.
No.
He was good-ish, right? But was he that good?
He was a solid game manager.
Right? But they don't have the same running game.
No.
Defense should be solid. So I'm okay with all that. Any other ones on that list that you guys are looking at it like, I don't know, David?
I mean,
Ole Miss at 6 is a little bit interesting just because Austin Simmons, first-year quarterback. And I don't really... no more Judkins. Well, obviously no more Judkins.
Yeah, he went to Ohio State last year.
That's
It's been
my
a minute.
bad. But I feel like they're lacking a little bit maybe in the running game this year. I don't really know who their wide receivers are. I haven't done a lot of research on Ole Miss, so
I actually think Ole Miss is going to be okay this year.
Yeah, I think Missouri is the team. If you're giving out where they're going to finish at the end of the season, we talk about their schedule being so easy that they could very well be in the top 8 just off their schedule alone. Now, nobody's going to sit here and say that Missouri is the 8th best team in the SEC, but they could finish there because of how easy that schedule is.
But from the top 5, how different could that shake out?
I don't think. I think that top 5 is...
You think Texas is going to finish first in the SEC?
I don't think they're going to finish first, but I think that top 5 will be the top 5 in some shape.
Yeah. I have more questions in the top 3 or 4 with Georgia than I do Texas or Alabama.
Yeah, I think Georgia's the biggest question mark just because of Gunnar Stockton's first year as a starter. I mean, Alabama, the question is about Ty Simpson, but their defense is just so good that it kind of gets pushed to the back burner.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You had another thing you wanted to bring up before we start off with Billy?
Yeah, Greg McElroy dropped his preseason top 10. We'll go through that real quick with Clemson at number 1, Penn State number 2, Notre Dame.
Pause.
Okay.
What do Penn State and Clemson have in common?
Third-year returning quarterbacks in Cade Klubnik and Drew Aller, who I am not buying in the hype. Come after me. I don't care.
But I mean, what did they do? 10-2 last year and got to the semis? I mean, that's...
Now, I mean, I'm buying...
And that defense is legit. The schedule's not crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but Katron Allen and Nick Singleton are what gets them there, not really Drew Aller. Number 3, Notre Dame. Number 4, Texas.
So whoa. Hey, Billy Liucci, I didn't know you were here.
Finish.
Well, he says that I want to... Notre Dame 3 power ranking by your boy Greg?
You revisit it at the... I don't think he's going to go through the whole top 25. Go ahead.
I just got the top 10.
I'm sorry. I apologize for him.
Why are you cutting him off?
Notre Dame at 3, Texas at 4, Alabama at number 5, Georgia number 6, LSU number 7, the reigning national champion Ohio State at number 8, Oregon at number 9, and Miami at number 10.
That means that Miami and Notre Dame game to start the season is going to be...
They love hyping up Miami, don't they?
Who are
you know why? Because in the last 25 years, they have the best college football team that I saw.
Yeah, 25 years ago.
It was 20. It
was
legit
it actually?
24.
Is that why I keep seeing it on like my Instagram, TikTok, and stuff?
I mean, that team was ridiculous.
Yeah, when more you hear about it. But you're going to take me off the Mario Cristobal.
Hi, Billy Liucci.
Mario Cristobal, 1-1 against A&M. Or is he 1-2? He's 1-2. The Cuban expert doesn't know, does he?
Did A&M play FIU?
Yeah.
A long time ago.
They played FIU, and FIU was kicking the Aggies' ass up and down Kyle Field.
When was it, like 2018?
And it was Gerard Johnson.
Oh, wow.
Threw about 4 picks. It was before they realized that, or it came out that his shoulder was jacked up. It was, I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm pretty sure it was before Tannehill took over that season, a few games later. So it would have been 2010. And Cyrus Gray and Kristen Michael, Sherman finally said, you know what, screw it. We're going to line up and we're going to... Luke Jokel got the start. It was like his second game. He actually had a struggle in that game because it was his second game. It was his true freshman. Finally, they just said, we're just going to line up and run the ball. They ran behind Alligator Arm Ike, and they went right down the field, touchdown. But they were in jeopardy of losing to FIU at home in that game. So, but Cristobal lost. He's 1-2 against the Aggies. Did beat A&M, though.
At Hard Rock.
Disastrous road trip for us.
Yeah.
Same day later that night,
Texas went on to win at Bama. It was one of the days that pissed me off more than any. That since I've been watching, it's probably number one for me. And there's a lot of days where we've been like, the other one on the flip side of that, my favorite Saturday of college football in recent memory might be Texas blowing a massive lead to Oklahoma in the Red River earlier in the day, and then A&M coming back that night and pulling off the shocking upset of Bama. So there's a flip side of that coin. But anyway, Cristobal Miami at 10, but there's more important things to talk about. Notre Dame at 3, Ohio State at 8.
Yeah.
I like McElroy's ranking because he took some risks. Clemson at 1. I mean, Texas at 4, their fans will make you think you just ranked them at 76 because I think I had them at 3 and they're still pissed. I had them at like 5. I've kind of bumped them up to 3. Part of that is, but I have Ohio State at 2.
Do you really?
And I understand I've got Penn State at 1. And look at Reese. But it's not because of Drew Aller. I think he's a part of it. Like, I like the veteran experienced QB. And I don't think they're going to go undefeated. I just think I like that.
James Franklin,
love
right?
that running game. James Franklin's my guy. I love that ground game. I love the home field advantage they have there. Really wanted to go this year to the whiteout, but it's same to A&M Oregon. I mean, A&M Auburn. They play Oregon in the whiteout. So I think I'm going to go to the big house, not the big house, the horseshoe for the first time. A&M second bye week. Penn State, Ohio State. But so that will be the game. I think that it'll decide the Big Ten. I would have Ohio State ranked a little higher. Notre Dame at 3 is really interesting. I'd like to ask Greg, like, when he's doing these, does he think those are the 10 best teams? Knowing McElroy, I think that would be exactly how he would rank them on that criteria.
Mm-hmm.
If he wanted to say the most likely to get there, and I see. But now with the playoff, it's a little different. Back in the past, I could see I'm ranking them, and I want to look right at the end of the year, and I want to rank them based on who I think is going to win it and what are their chances of winning it. Clemson out of the ACC, Notre Dame with their schedule, that helps. But that's no longer the case in a 12-team playoff. So it's who's going to win it. I don't think I would have Notre Dame up there. He seems to, I guess he'd be putting a lot of confidence in C.J. Carr. I do think Jeremiah Love might be the best back or two in the country this year when it's all said and done, because also they'll lean on him. And I know you could just kind of chalk up Marcus Freeman defense to be good, but man, I still think Notre Dame has too many. There's the Northern Illinois. Everybody forgets the day that A&M lost to App State, Notre Dame lost to Marshall.
That's right.
As good as Notre Dame was last year, and I would trade. You could sign me up for another G5, or not G5. Another G5 loss and all the embarrassment that comes with it this year if A&M played for the national title. Now, I don't know how we'd survive that week, so maybe we shouldn't. But my point is not to take anything away from Notre Dame, what they did last year. But that App State game is such a stain, around here, and it was such an embarrassment, and people still bring it up on our side, fan bases all over the country. It leaves a mark for a long time. The Scarlet Letter, you remember that book?
Of course.
They had the A for adultery. It's the A for Appalachian State. But
and Arkansas State.
Did A&M lose to Arkansas State?
Didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Mm-hmm. That was Sherman. Was that Sherman's first game? That might have been Sherman's first game.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we got a lot of Scarlet.
God, sorry for.
I mean, hopefully not Arkansas.
2008, Texas A&M
Sherman's
lost to
first
Arkansas week 1, 18-14.
Yeah, they can beat Arkansas, not Arkansas State. But you look around so Notre Dame's done. So that, as bad as that loss was for us 3 years ago to App State, they've had another one since. They had one the same day, and they've had another one since. And Notre Dame, they'll occasionally, they just seem to have a little knack for playing down and not down to their competition like A&M's down, but just where
Well, they lose an early game a lot under Marcus Freeman.
They don't. To have them at 3, I don't trust the consistency of under not only Freeman, but Freeman plus a new unproven quarterback, plus the Notre Dame factor. So, yeah, does that mean that I'm sitting here saying A&M's going to go in there and win? No, not yet. I like A&M's chances. I think that's a total coin flip of a game. But am I saying that I trust Notre Dame to be the 3rd best team in the country? No way. I think they lost too much on defense too, honestly.
So I'm looking at Notre Dame. They lost. You mentioned the Marshall game. They've had several seasons where they've lost early in September to somebody. Obviously, we know what happened last year. So, and I think there's one more. I'm trying to see. Was it 24? The 24 was Northern Illinois. There you go.
I just think, I love what they did in the playoff last year and the way they came back against Georgia. But they still, when you watch them against, not Georgia, I'm sorry, when you watch them against Ohio State, and I still think they lack the upside, highest end talent of the Ohio States, the usual Bama and Georgias, whether that's the case this year or not. But they're still a cut below that, which makes them susceptible. If they were in the SEC, they'd be more in that range of LSU, and when these teams are up, let's say LSU, A&M, Tennessee, Ole Miss, like that group of teams, Auburn when they're up, because they don't have that overwhelming talent that some of the teams that you see them ranked around, are with. So now, is Jeremiah Love that guy? Hell yeah. But there's a lot of guys that you go, I kind of like them, but I got to see it. Like Greathouse, yeah, he had a great game and a half to end the year. Yeah, but it wasn't a year.
Yeah.
And they lost. They returned some good players on defense, but they lost a lot off of a great defense. So it'll be, I think Notre Dame at 3 is a little high. I kind of like that he had the Stones put the defending champs Ohio State at 8. That's interesting to me. And I do like, I kind of like Clemson I won't put him at 1, but I'm with you. I like Klubnik a lot more than I like Drew Aller. I love their defensive front. But Clemson got their ass whipped against a lot of good teams last year that they played. I mean, they got humiliated by Georgia. I don't know if you remember that game. It was the first game was like 31 or 35 to 7. Yeah. Well,
at the half they were getting destroyed.
Were they? I thought it was close at halftime.
Maybe it's the second half they took off.
Yeah, they got humiliated by Georgia. They kind of
34-3.
Yeah, second half 28-3. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it was close at halftime actually. But they came back against Texas to make it look respectable, and Klubnik caught fire. But Texas controlled that football game in Austin. I think it was, Reese, look it up. Was it Louisville that just went hat to hat with them and just kicked the you-know-what out of them?
Louisville beat Notre Dame in 23, 33-20.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even that close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last year they lost to Louisville 33-21.
Was it last year? Okay.
Yeah,
Clemson did.
Yeah, Clemson last year.
Clemson lost to Louisville. They got humiliated by Georgia. They got, pretty well handled by Texas. They had a chance there, but they closed it. But I mean, and they were, I don't know if they were lucky. They barely escaped SMU. Like, it's a big jump for me, so I won't rank them 1. It's a big jump for me for that football team to go from what they were last year to the national champs.
All right, let's hit a break here. Milliken Reserve Time, farm-to-table community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms, they got wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community. They have an awesome bunch of neighborhoods when you go to Milliken Reserve. They got the creek. Those are homes on 10-plus acre wooded estates. You've got the hollow in a private and gated community, and you got the meadows, homes that are responsive to their natural surroundings. Milliken Reserve is rooted in Texas soil, and if that sounds like a place for you, check out millikenreserve.com. Remember, when you go there, you can do all the great stuff from hiking to biking to canoeing to kayaking. They've got great equestrian trails, evening yoga, you name it. You can learn more at millikenreserve.com. That is millikenreserve.com. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. Time for 25 and 25, presented by La Casa Tequila, raised in Aggieland, rooted in the SEC, number 11.
Do I like Mario Cristobal and Carson Beck? We went through it during the break. Cristobal lost to Syracuse with Cam Ward. He lost to Georgia Tech
10 wins
and Haynes
Syracuse.
King with Cam Ward. I don't care how many wins they had. Are you serious?
They had an easy schedule.
Yeah, I thought you were joking there, but you were serious.
And joking. But they did win 10 games.
They lost to Syracuse with Cam Ward, and they lost to Georgia Tech, where Haynes King took down. I actually think they had the other quarterback throwing some passes in that one, but they beat. They lost to Georgia Tech and Syracuse with let's say Heisman winner, number 1 overall pick in the draft, and they lost to Cal and they lost to Virginia Tech. They were gifted by horrific officiating 2 victories. That's an 8-4 football team with Cam Ward. That doesn't even account the fact that they survived wild shootouts with Louisville and Duke because of Cam Ward.
Yep.
And still finishing, by my opinion, 8-4 on the field. And they didn't have to play Clemson or even SMU, who were the other 2 best teams in that conference. So if I'm going to put my faith in Mario Cristobal and Carson Beck, no. So I don't. I think 10's too high. Put somebody else in the top 10.
How about number 11, Scooby Williams?
Well done.
Thank you. You said 10. I just went back.
Number 0, Scooby Williams. It's like Scooby. I wonder if he did that for that reason. He's got 2 O's in there. I doubt it. I think Scooby's a guy. I think anyone listening knows that I've been. Maybe he didn't move the needle for me a whole lot when A&M added him from Florida. He would get on the field. Boy, he wasn't like a tremendously impactful guy, but you're like, okay, well, if Bateman and Sean Spencer felt like he was the guy that they wanted to bring with them from Florida, then it tells you a little something. And then when he got here and you saw him in pads in practice, you're going, man, he looks the part. Like that's what an SEC linebacker should look like. And you're watching highlights from him from last year. I think he's the best sideline-to-sideline guy they have on that defense that just tracks the football, can chase, closes ground. Like, I want Dalton Brooks to be that guy this year too, but, I mean, Scooby is that guy. And you see him there. He made plays in coverage all year. He, again, like, he can close in the backfield. He's sideline-to-sideline making tackles. I think he is a potential difference maker for the A&M defense. And when he got hurt against Auburn, it was a massive blow to their chances to beat Texas a week later. And no one really talked about it because he's 99%. I got to go back and check. I think he started that Texas game. No tackles. He was a non-factor in that one. I think came out really early. That injury, and then didn't play in the bowl game and had that surgery on that knee. He played last year with a torn, did they say it was a torn MCL? Meniscus. I think it was meniscus. Very painful. It happened in the first game against Notre Dame. I saw him leave a couple of games with that injury along the way. And if he was putting that on tape, playing it well less than 100%, then I'm really excited to see what he does this year. No one says this. Will Lee, Cassius Howell are in the discussion, but to me, and Torian, but another guy that you have to include in the discussion and say, hey, who's the most impactful player on this defense? The other guy I would mention along with those 3 would be Scooby Williams. I think he's that good. And I think the A&M defense looks different when Zero's on the field. And I think he makes Torian York a lot better player as well. I agree with you. I think they complement each other very well.
Billy, on the other side, I want to play a game. I want you to pick. You don't like the games?
What movie is that? We're like, do you want to play? Oh, Scream. Do you want to play a game?
You kind of sound like the guy.
Yeah.
You're going to pick a road trip each week of the college football season that you'd want to go to as a college football fan. It can be A&M, but you got to pick, like, as a college football fan, that's the game I want to go to.
I like it.
So we'll play that game on the other side. Right now, we're talking Heritage Films. When it comes to preserving your farm or your ranch's legacy, it's not just about capturing those pretty pictures and videos that you post on Instagram and on Facebook. It's about a real presentation that you can that can be for the families that come after, right? The next generations, as I learned English again. You can transfer those values built your operation on for those generations that will inherit it. Chance McClain and his team have interviewed thousands of folks, and they know one thing when it comes to their ranch. They have found something profound. They're not just businesses, they're blueprints for building character. And Farm and Ranch Films captures the wisdom your grandkids will need. Visit yourheritagefilm.com, and click on Farm and Ranch or call them up, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films. Feelings are a little hurt, Billy.
Why?
I mentioned Special Forces, World's Toughest Test, Season 4 cast. Johnny Manziel's going to be on the show. And I told you I think I would do well on that show, and you think I would panic and do horrible on the show. If anybody at TexAgs, who would rank higher than me to do okay on that show?
Why does it have to be TexAgs?
Well, let's just start here.
It's not about TexAgs. It's not about whether
I told you
Bronny. It's not about whether you can outlast Bronny and Nuño. Bronny's driven home from work because he got bit by a spider, and because it rained. So, no, Richard Zane would in the wrong light might run from his own shadow.
Well,
so no, I don't. How long? It's about you versus the cliff that they have you dangling over.
Yeah,
it's
but
about
they give you a harness.
It's about you versus the cave that you're trapped
Season
into.
1.
It's about you versus heights. How does David Nuño fare jumping out of an airplane?
Just please, okay, the people they put on the show. Season 1.
You're going to cause us to go.
Carly Lloyd, okay?
Yeah,
Olympic
gym. A Spice Girl. You know
Anthony Scaramucci, the guy that Trump hired for 3 days.
Yeah, he worked for Trump and
Montel Jordan, Dr. Drew, 8 plus
Montel
8.
Jordan was a Navy SEAL.
No, he was a singer.
This
is how we do
Williams
it.
was in like the army.
The Kate Gosselin from the lady who had 8 kids. She was on the show. I'd be fine. Dwight Howard didn't work hard in basketball. Do you think he worked hard in Special Forces? I watched him try to walk the plank and no, I would dominate. I wouldn't win, but I'd finish in the top 3.
Listen, there's no one I know with a more warped perception of their physical capability. Literally, like no one I know than you.
Very
and that's
honest.
Fine. And that's
I'm
fine.
a terrible dancer. I have no shot. I'm short, but I work hard. That's the facts.
And that show is about working hard.
It is. It's about being on it last.
I agree. You'd be determined, and I think everyone would like you as they patted you on the butt and wished you goodbye. When
I'm basically
one of the
Rudy.
first ones out, they're like, "Hey, hell of a job, man. That guy. He wanted to be good. He had a hell of a lot of fight. Maybe in a different life, he could have done this."
Do you think he would do better?
No, I'm not claiming I could. I wouldn't volunteer to be on it.
I would.
Okay. David Nuño, the whole country would be reading that.
The guy at TexAgs who doesn't tweet?
That?
I'm in.
Who's that? No, I think.
Let's play the game.
I think you'd tap out real early in that deal.
I don't think I'd tap out.
Yeah, I think the heights.
The heights might get me. The heights might get. Or
it could
spiders.
get me. You dangle me off of a ledge of 500.
But there's a harness, right? Okay. They don't die. Nobody's died on the show
yet.
Let's go on this road
and
trip.
I can confirm the show's already been filmed. Johnny did not perish on the show.
Good.
He's still with us. He's just frolicking through Europe right now with Drake.
I think I'd win. Week 1, college football. I'm going to give you a couple of games. You pick the road trip you want to go to.
What is that picture I'm looking at?
Have you seen Fat Nuño? The interns made everybody fat. And there's pictures like Kay, Callie, everybody.
Okay. It's fun. That's fun. Let's play this other game.
Okay. Texas at Ohio State, which is already the winner. Alabama at Florida State. LSU at Clemson.
Is this week 1?
Yeah, week 1. Yeah, each week we're going to pick the game.
Yeah, that would be Texas at Ohio State. It's 1 versus 2. Come on. And it's at the Horseshoe. What do we have to discuss?
I might go Notre Dame, Miami.
Okay. Why? Because you want a Cuban sandwich and some coffee? Oh, this coffee tastes different because it's from Miami and it's got like a strong taste. It's actually terrible, but because I have to
Why do you make me sound like a character from Yentl?
I have to pretend like it's authentic because it's from Miami.
It tastes
it's a shot of coffee. It tastes horrifically bad.
It tastes great.
Ruins my whole day. Okay, go ahead.
Some of us have a strong stomach.
No one's going to that.
Week 2, Michigan at Oklahoma. That's pretty much it. Iowa at Iowa State. Oklahoma State at Oregon.
Okay. We're going to stick with Michigan at Oklahoma. That's two. Look, no matter what you say about Chet Venables and where they're at, I'm not sold on Michigan's head coach either after year 1, although they had
I think Michigan's going to be good.
They had a nice finish. They came out and had a nice finish. When you beat Ohio State and Alabama in your last 2, I still think they have to figure out what ends up happening at the quarterback position this year. at Michigan, but I think they're built around the right stuff. That's the game I'd like to go see. No matter where they're both at right now, they are two of about 6 or 7 blue bloods in college football, true blue bloods.
Here's some good ones. Week 3, Florida at LSU, Georgia at Tennessee, Texas A&M at Notre Dame, Wisconsin at Alabama.
Florida at LSU is my runner-up. Texas A&M, Notre Dame, SEC. Like we're detaching from A&M here for a second. An SEC team, ranked SEC team, going into South Bend, Indiana, with a Notre Dame team that has aspirations of a national title. Yes, that would be the one.
This next week, I think it's going to depend how storylines unfold, but here are some options for week 4. South Carolina at Missouri, which potentially both teams could be undefeated at that point.
No offense.
Florida.
I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
Go ahead. No.
Florida at Miami. Michigan at Nebraska. Oregon State at Oregon. No thanks.
Michigan at Nebraska. I don't want to double up Michigan, but I would like to see, does Matt Rule start to turn it around there?
The Crystal Balls
I've never been,
versus DJ Lagway?
I was about to say, I've never been to any of those state of Florida rivalry games, so I think I'd go Florida at Miami. Or is it Miami at Florida?
Florida at Miami.
Oh, so you can come with me and get your coffee then.
Thank you. Let's do that. Let's make that a great trip. Week 5, Alabama at Georgia. I think that's probably wins. Notre Dame at Arkansas. Oregon at Penn State.
It's a no-brainer.
I mean,
that's not a no-brainer.
It's not.
Oregon
I'll give you
at Penn
one more.
State, and that's their whiteout game. But I think you have to do Bama at Georgia. I mean, you think about going into Athens, between the hedges. Ooh, that's a tough one.
I'll give you one more just to consider. I know you won't pick it. USC at Illinois. I know you won't pick it.
I mean, I get what you're doing there, but hell no.
Okay, sorry.
Dry fit Riley versus Piglama.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Undefeated
not. And
Piglama.
Piglama is not, that's based on him being in Arkansas. I know you can't body shame. Piglama has to do with Arkansas.
Can't body shame. Week 6.
No, okay. That's a tough. I'm at a toss up there. I might go to Happy Valley. Reese do we need to have him on camera? Because he's so gesticular over there. It's distracting.
Way to go, Bronny. Great word.
Going like this every time. Keep going, Reese. I like to. Reese and I agree. Happy Valley, whiteout.
Got to go to the whiteout.
Penn State, Oregon. Could be for a Big Ten title.
All right, here's the week.
But because I know my schedule, Reese, I'm going Georgia and Alabama in Athens, a rematch from last year, and probably for one of the spots in the SEC title game. Go ahead.
Week 6, Clemson at North Carolina, Bill Belichick. Texas at Florida. Alabama at Vanderbilt, the rematch. Oh, Miami at Florida State.
That's Vandy at Alabama, isn't it? Yeah.
And Boise State, Notre Dame.
Miami who?
Florida State. Well, we already
Boise
picked the
State, Notre Dame. That's a bad week of games. What was the first
Texas
one?
at Florida?
What was the first one you said?
Clemson at North Carolina.
That's a bad week of games. I hate to pick 2 Texas games. I think that would be a no-brainer as well.
Okay. We continue on here.
Go to the swamp. Just stay in Florida all week that week.
The Red River rivalry for week 7. Georgia at Auburn. South Carolina at LSU. Florida at Texas A&M. Ohio State at Illinois, Alabama at Missouri.
I think from that standpoint, I mean, if you've never been to Red River, you gotta go to Red River. Second to me would be if you're a football fan, you come to Kyle Field because it's probably the most. There's a chance that could be the biggest game at Kyle Field this season, and you get to see, Lagway, Marcel Reed should be like an exciting game with a lot of offense.
Okay, we continue on. Week 8, USC at Notre Dame, Tennessee at Alabama.
USC at Notre Dame.
Tennessee at Alabama, Ohio State at Wisconsin, SMU at Clemson.
What was that first one again?
USC at Notre Dame.
I would do that. I don't want to go to Notre Dame twice, though. I've never seen the USC Notre Dame rivalry. I wish that was in the Coliseum, but I think I'd go back to South Bend for that one.
Okay. Week 9, Alabama at South Carolina. Now, Texas A&M at LSU. Oh yeah, I'm in. And that's really it. Colorado at Utah.
I would say A&M LSU, and hopefully both those teams are still in
top 10
SEC title contention.
Yep.
Yeah, I want that game to mean something. Last year was the first time since but I don't even think it was that big a game when Johnny's 2012 year when LSU came here, because it was an 11 a.m. game. It wasn't that, the Aggies had lost a game already. No one knew what they were capable of later that year. I don't know how many times the LSU A&M game has truly meant something other than this past season. I mean, this past year was the first time where it was really of significant magnitude.
Right.
Because either one team or both didn't live up there into the bargain, and they kept playing at the end of the year. The only time they weren't at the end of the year, I think, was the Johnny 2012 season. After that, it kept being towards the end of the year. So I don't know how much has ever been at stake between those two teams until last year. So, man, I'm really hoping that both teams have something to play for like they did in this past fall when they go to Baton Rouge, because that's my pick.
Week 10 will be easy, I think. Penn State at Ohio State.
That's the one I want to go to.
Georgia.
That's A&M's bye week. So I would love it. I'm going to try. That's the big game. I regret not doing, it was a terrible game, so I don't regret. I was going to go to my first ever Red River last year, but part of the reason I didn't was because it's going to be a blowout.
Yep.
Aggies were off that week, and this season, when I look at the two bye weeks, that's the one that stands out.
All right, week 11, LSU at Alabama.
And by the way, I think that will be for a berth in the Big Ten title. It might be a Big Ten title.
Indiana at Penn State.
Which one?
Week 11.
What's the other option?
LSU at Alabama or Indiana at Penn State.
Yeah, I would do LSU at Bama. I saw them last year in Baton Rouge. There's a level of buzz and excitement there. I'm not going to do anything that involves Kurt Signetti trying to falsely hype up a football team at a basketball school.
All right, week 12, Texas at Georgia, Oklahoma at Alabama, UCLA at Ohio State.
It's definitely not UCLA at Ohio State. I mean, it's got to be Texas at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going back to Georgia. I'm doing another. I'm going to have to eliminate one of these Texas games. We're going to eliminate Texas at Florida and pick another one.
Okay. And then we're going to go, that was 12. We go to 13. Got to go fast. USC at Oregon, Ohio State at Michigan, Alabama at Auburn, Tennessee at Florida.
It's Ohio State at Michigan.
Arkansas at Texas. Okay. And then week 14, Texas A&M at Texas, Ohio State at Michigan, Alabama.
I thought you just said Ohio State at Michigan.
I think I just typed it wrong, but there you go.
So what is it, David?
I'm sure it's
trying
rivalry
to play
week.
This game right.
I'm sure it's rivalry week, but it just on this.
I'm going to. If I had no tie, well, the problem is I do have ties. I'm going to A&M Texas, except the game's at DKR.
Right.
You're passing up going to the big house. There might be a flag planting there, but yeah, we're going to watch the Aggies and Longhorns. Couple of these games, the good news is we're actually going to do them. LSU, A&M Notre Dame, A&M Texas,
A&M Florida,
and A&M Florida, and Ohio State, Penn State.
All right, we'll hit a break. A moment for Caldwell.
You're invited.
Thank you. Appreciate
really.
that. Yeah. No, I mean, if you want,
you need
go.
a week off.
I agree. Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. If you're looking for a selection that won't break the bank, Caldwell Country Chevrolet is the place to go. They're stocking up on new vehicles all the time, growing that inventory daily, and they are south of those big city prices with no dealer add-ons. What you see is what you pay. And their locally owned Aggie alumni team is ready to roll out the red carpet and talk about value. Every vehicle comes with that purchase of a free oil change for life as long as you own that vehicle from Caldwell Country Chevrolet. The pre-owned inventory does move fast, which means you'll get top dollar for all your trade-ins. Don't wait. These deals don't last forever. Excuse me. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. All right. Cade, we're probably going to do overtime here in a moment. Okay.
Are you still in a commercial?
No, we're back. But I like to do on like the top podcasts in the world. They talk to their producer and like they move on the fly. What are you laughing at?
You, like all of your study of the world's top podcast.
Patrick Bet David, Joseph Rogan.
David.
You don't like PBD?
Actually, he does good interviews.
I want to go hang with him.
He does good interviews.
He does. All right, so we'll have Zane take over at overtime because I have a call with Miranda after the show.
What if it's Zane? We can get Zane and Bronny in here.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's do that.
We'll do that.
And have the Panicking Bickham ask some questions.
It sounds like a band, like an alt rock band, the Panicking Bickhams. I like that. You can put Panicking in front of anything and make a band like the Panicking. I think a great band name would be like the Panicking Hippos. You disagree with that?
Yeah, I like that.
You don't think that's like a metal, like you get in the mosh pit? Just
I think Cheetah. Panicking Cheetahs.
Panicking Hippos. Because imagine hippos panicking. Panicking llamas.
By the way, how much of the SEC Netflix show have you watched?
Not zero so far.
Okay.
I've seen clips. I'm
not that into it.
Well, I'm going to support a couple friends on the show.
Yeah.
Who's on there?
SEC
Staples,
Mike.
SEC Mike, Johnny, Alyssa. Here she's prominently featured.
Yeah, she's in there a lot.
So I'm going to watch it because they're on it.
Yeah.
And I would watch it out of interest in I'm going to watch it, but I know what happens during the A&M side, and I know people have not enjoyed the A&M portion for multiple reasons. Namely that I know people are saying, why'd they pick the games? Well, unfortunately, those were probably the games they were embedded on. And so it's actually, I could be wrong. They could have been here earlier and just decided not to cover the games A&M won. I don't think that's the case. I think they were embedded on the games they lost. I think Florida's probably thinking the same thing from what I've heard. It seems like they focused on their early season struggles. So I'm not excited to watch it, but I'm going to watch it because I am a fan of SEC football.
By the way, this is a final segment of the program. It is brought to you by Double Dave's. Right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150.
Double Dave sounds so good right
It
now.
does.
Get the pizza rolls without pepperoni.
They've been serving
that's my menu suggestion.
Caller number 12.
Dip it in a lot of marinara.
We're gonna hook you up with
or
that.
ranch, whatever you like.
Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. TexAgs Overtime coming up, brought to you by the Rogue Shop here on TexAgs.com only. We'll see those in a bit and those folks in a bit, and we will see you on Monday on this show. Bye.